Gang shit, bad shit, gang squad close.
Drip Eliante, pulling up, feeling like Harry Belafonte. Look at my racks, feel like Serena when hit from the back. Swing, pull like Jim, waves on swim, and a rock Tims with the tech.
Dub us the anti-Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, okay. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, we're like an antidote to him, I feel like. So, if you hate Joe Rogan, that's okay. If you hate Joe Rogan, this is the pod for you.
I used to listen to the Joe Rogan podcast with my ex that you know, but this was probably before I understood. I actually don't hate Joe Rogan, if I'm being honest, but I do think that people... I think that people need to recognize more that when you have a large, like that's the biggest podcast in the world. Like, you need to understand that when you have a large podcast, you need to be careful with what you say. I'm not saying like you shouldn't be able to express your opinions. You should, but you need to, just like the whole Tate thing that's going on, right? So
it's like basically when you have a large platform, you have to be careful with who you allow onto the platform and what is said on that platform because it reaches so many people.
That and it's like that, as well as like the whole Tate thing that's going on. Like people are like, oh, people take stuff out of context and they take a long form piece of content and clip it down to short form. It's like, right, all of that might be true, but it still doesn't negate from the fact that words are being said from your mouth and then being spun in a direction whether you like it or not. So if that's something that you have said that's being taken out of context, then get on your fucking platform and say, boys, hey, don't hit women, don't control women, don't do this, da-da-da-da-da. I didn't say it like that. But instead what you're doing is saying, oh, well, everyone's taking everything out of context. It's like, well, then put it into fucking context right now. Like if you're talking about it right now, put it in context. Like correct the mistake, even if you didn't make it. Like it's your responsibility. So I think that's the thing with Joe Rogan too. Like all the stuff that he did with like misinformation and all that stuff. Just correct it.
It's not good.
No.
Yeah. It's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Just gotta own up to it.
Literally every day. Like every second of every day. But I'm the first that's willing to say. Do I?
Yeah. You look really pretty.
Oh, I don't feel it, man. I feel rough. But thank you for the compliment.
Welcome. I like your teeth.
My teeth?
Your teeth are so cute.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, tip for people out there that involuntary vomit on a regular basis, or those that do, trigger warning. If you throw up, don't brush your teeth immediately after. Give it some time, because what happens is the acid in your stomach comes up and it sticks to your teeth. So if you brush your teeth right away, you're brushing off a lot of the enamel. Same like if you have OJ. Don't drink like OJ and then brush your teeth.
Ew.
Give it some time, because otherwise you're brushing off your enamel. So
good to know.
Yeah. I know
good
a lot
to know.
of
I'm constantly throwing up constantly.
Oh, yeah.
So do you have some morning brew for me?
Oh my god, I have some morning brew for you. Okay, I need to pull this up on my phone. I forgot to send it over to my laptop.
Oh, do you have your bag with you or your purse?
Oh, shit, I don't.
Go get it.
I know that you asked me to. I will go get it.
I forgot. I forgot to remind you.
I forgot to remind you. I'll get it after I do mine real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so I have two things. Like I do have regular morning brew, like regular articles and headlines and stuff, but I came across this thing that I thought was really, really fucking interesting, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So it was a thread on Reddit, and it's titled Unlikely Simultaneous Historical Events. This is why Reddit is one of my fucking favorite things in the world, because there's someone out there that's like a specialist at really niche-y shit. And I just love anybody that can like talk passionately about the most obscure things, right? So, a Redditor asks, what are two events that took place in the same time in history but don't seem like they would have? And this thread goes on, so I'm just going to read these things to you, and because I didn't know any of these. You might, though.
I'm so excited.
I know, it's so much fun. Okay, It's so much fun. None of these are that good. Like, they're not good things that happen, but it's like cool to know. Okay.
Yeah.
Spain was still a fascist dictatorship when Microsoft was founded.
Whoa.
Right.
Whoa. What the fuck?
I know. These are all insane.
Crazy.
There was no classes in calculus in Harvard's curriculum for the first few years because calculus hadn't been discovered yet.
I just got full body chills. That's crazy.
I know, a lot of these feel so icky. It's like, wait, how is that even possible? 2 empires, that's Roman and Ottoman, spanned the entire gap from Jesus to Babe Ruth.
What?
That's a really fucking big gap of time. That's a very large gap of time.
Whoa.
When the pyramids were being built, there were still woolly mammoths.
Bitch, what?
I know. I would love to see a woolly mammoth. RL.
I have juice bumps all over my body.
Goosebumps.
Right. That's how the Rugrats say goosebumps.
Oh, cute.
And I think it sounds so gross, so I love using it.
This one's gonna fuck you up. This one's gonna blow your headphones off your head. The last use of the guillotine, or guillotine, I'm not sure how that's pronounced.
Guillotine.
Okay, the thing that cuts your head off. The last use of a guillotine was in France the same year Star Wars came out. Bitch.
1977?
That's what this says. Oh, obviously, listeners, if none of these are true, don't come for me. It was on Reddit.
That is fucking hilarious that you did not double check.
Of course not. Of course I didn't.
But that's crazy. I actually did know that one about the guillotine. I knew that happened way later than we would assume.
Yeah. Yeah, the 70s, people were still cutting people's heads off. Are you serious?
Damn, that's barbaric.
While we're on the topic of capital punishment, do you support or believe in the death penalty?
I don't believe in the death penalty.
Okay.
I used to.
Is there any nuance in that for you, or is it just straight up no?
I just don't think the state, the government, should have the power to kill people.
I agree. I don't think anybody walking this earth has the right to decide if someone gets to live or die. Obviously, there's gray areas like self-defense. Like if you're gonna try and kill me or my kid, like I'm killing you. But if you just randomly decide, oh, this person needs to die because I say so, you're fully in the wrong. Yeah,
and I think that it's fucked up that okay, so I guess my perspective on it is really I don't cut this because I'm pausing too long, but
I'm cutting that. I'm not cutting that.
Fuck. I just don't think that the state should have that power. We're all gonna die one day anyway. So why is killing somebody a punishment? It's gonna happen. It's coming for all of us one day.
Do you want to know something interesting too? Obviously this is a blanket statement and it's obviously not true for every single place, but places where, for the most part, I've heard anyways, that death row versus regular prison, gen pop, whatever, death row is actually the nicer place to be, and you end up on death row for years. When you get sentenced to death, it's not happening tomorrow. It's usually 5, 10, 15, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a long time. So there's a lot of people that are in prison that will gun for the death penalty because they're gonna do life anyways. So why not do life in the nicer spot?
Whoa.
That's alleged. That's obviously, like I say, a blanket statement. That's probably not going to be for everywhere, but that's what I've heard.
Crazy.
Let's see. Oxford University was over 300 years old when the Aztec Empire was founded. That one means nothing to me. I don't understand that one.
That's crazy. That means that Oxford College is older than that civilization? Is that what you just said?
I mean, that looks like Oxford University was over 300 years old when the Aztec Empire was founded.
Yeah, so that college is older than the Aztec civilization, is what you just said.
Wow.
That's fucking bananas, dude. That is so insane.
Yeah, that's hard to believe. That's hard to believe. Somebody in the comments bet these. I'm not doing it. I'm just saying the shit.
Well, if you're not doing it, I'm not doing it.
Let's none of us do it. Oh my god, I love that we said that we're an anti-Joe Rogan podcast and we're worse. 100%
I just mean that my opinions are better, that's all.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously. Like, if we're just going based off, are we better than you, then we are the number one podcast in the world. Okay. This one. Mm-hmm. This one says, I know it's less of a shock if you read his last Beau, but it does blow my mind a bit that there's an entire collection of A.C.D. Holmes stories that were written and published after World War I. I don't know what that means. Who's A.C.D. Holmes?
Me either.
Okay, skip that one. It's boring. But that's it. I know it's a short list, but it kind of blew my mind. I thought maybe you guys would find it interesting. Like I said, I have regular morning brew too, but I thought that was fun.
Okay. That was interesting. The one about Oxford College really blew my mind.
I would like to probably check and make sure, because that seems unbelievable to me.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just be your cute little newscaster and get some of these out of the way. Okay, so this has to be probably the worst thing I've ever reported to you.
I'm so excited.
It's bad. From all the disgusting crimes and cruelties we've talked about on this podcast, this by far has to be the most disturbing, harmful, and heartbreaking of them all.
Okay.
Let me just give you a little context first before I tell you what has happened. Patrick and I have been watching the Lord of the Rings series, and I hadn't seen any of them besides the first one. And the reason I know that I'd seen that one is because Legolas was my first ever crush, hard crush.
It's like sexual awakening.
Yeah, I realized I was dang, which is so weird because I've literally never dated a blonde guy. Anyway,
I think he's so much more handsome when he's got his regular curly brown hair anyway. I don't like the blonde wig on him. I don't think he looks all that great.
My preference is not blonde guys. But but back when I first saw him as Legolas, I was like, that's it. That's the one for some fucking reason.
I mean, he does have a really nice face regardless, so.
Yeah, maybe it was just I don't know what it was. Anyways, so we've been binging these movies, and we finished those, and we moved on to the Hobbit ones. Yeah, the pre-stories or whatever. That's what's next. Mm-hmm. And we completed the first one, and then we're halfway through the second one, okay? And we're watching these on Amazon Prime, which I pay for whatever. I think it's what, $13 a month, and you do the whole Prime thing. Anyways, so then out of nowhere, Amazon Prime now requires an HBO Max subscription to watch these movies. So I had to rent the second one to finish it. I had to rent it on YouTube to finish it because they're long ass movies and we have a kid and we're busy, so we can't just sit and watch a fucking 3.5 hour movie. So we get halfway through it and we go do our stuff for the day and we come back that night and we've had a bad day. We had a bad weekend. It's just not been a good time. It was what I was looking forward to doing. So we sit down to watch these, and it's no, you can't. You have to subscribe $14.99 a month to HBO Max to finish.
Bitch, I'll let you have my HBO. I'll let you have my login.
Wait, what?
Dum dum.
Well, I rented them and we finished them. I was I know that.
I mean, I'll still let you have my login, so you have fucking HBO. What the fuck?
That's what's up. Can you believe that? Isn't that the most disgusting thing you've ever heard in your life? That's criminal.
Yeah, capitalism sucks, dude.
I'm heartbroken. That's your morning brew. I'm disgusted. What? Anyone else who is out there suffering from this actual atrocity, you're not alone.
I'm
headlines too.
You made me, I was excited, and then I was a little scared because you're this is the worst thing ever, and then, whoa, thanks for that. I hate it when I don't climax.
About that because it didn't ruin my day because I fixed the problem, but it was enough to inconvenience me. And if you know me at all, like a slight inconvenience for me isn't happening. It's
that
not
like picture of Gerard Way like face down on the stage with the cheerleader dress on, where he's just like laying face down. I posted it on the Instagram.
Oh yeah.
That picture, that me at any minor inconvenience.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Except for it's like angry. Like there's a constant rage just bubbling underneath the surface, and I'd say as calm as I possibly can. And like it's like I this is why I have to meticulously put together my days and all the things that I do, because if I don't know if it's a controls thing. I'm not really sure what it is. Like I'm not a doctor. But like if something doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, I'm infuriated. Like I'm very angry. My rage knows no bounds, basically.
You are untethered and your rage knows no bounds. I feel that. You and I are very similar that way. Yeah. I get that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do some actual morning brew though, because we're fine. I've recovered. We finished the last one last night.
Cool.
Yeah, I know I'm like really behind on the Lord of the Rings thing, but
honestly, dude, I cannot watch one of those movies without falling asleep to it.
Oh, okay. I get enthralled.
I like Lord of the Rings. Like I like fantasy and sci-fi. You know that about me, but
yeah.
I don't know what it is. Every time I sit down to watch one of those, it just puts me to sleep. And it's not because I'm bored.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
They're comforting in a way, I guess. I find them comforting because, like, I don't know, like the shots and like the way people talk and like
it's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
I have seen them all. There. I have seen all of those. I just not in one sitting.
Oh, that's impossible.
Yeah,
that's
I don't know how people do that.
Yeah, you have to have nothing else going on. And that's not me, like, throwing shade at you. Like, if you're able to sit down and watch all the Lord of the Rings in one day, like, props to you, because it's not happening in my world.
Yeah, no. I'll be asleep.
Let's get our first little pour morning brew here. An airline worker died after being ingested into the engine of a plane.
Oh.
And again, I haven't read these. These are all raw read, you guys. So I'm gonna check my tone. The headline says that someone died, so we're not gonna make jokes. An airline ground crew worker in Montgomery, Alaska, I think that is, died after being ingested into the engine of a parked plane on Saturday, said the National Transportation Safety Board. In a statement provided to, this is on NPR, the National Transportation Safety Board said it had opened an investigation into the death. The incident involved an Embraer 170 aircraft, a medium-range jet that can hold about 70 passengers, which had flown from Dallas, Fort Worth to Montgomery Regional. The victims, whose name has yet to be released, was employed by Piedmont Airlines, a subsidiary of American Airlines that operates more than 80 airports. Neither company responded to NPR's request for comment. Ow!
Also, you said Alaska. You said Montgomery, Alaska, but I have a feeling it's Alabama.
Oh, okay. ALA. That's what it said.
I'm pretty sure there's not a Montgomery in Alaska. There's like 2 cities in Alaska. And I don't think either of them are called Montgomery.
My bad. So you're probably right.
I wanted to clarify that real quick. But yeah, that's fucking sad.
Yeah. The airport grounded all flights for 5 hours after the incident, which occurred around 3 p.m. on New Year's Eve. That's really all that there is. There's no information on like what exactly happened.
Oh, that is so sad.
That is really sad. I probably wouldn't have included that one if I realized how little kind of information, like the names haven't even been released. So like that's very, very fresh. That was the 3rd. That was literally like not even a week ago. So condolences to the family. That's awful.
Up, dude.
Fuck. I think the rest of these are a little bit lighter. Maybe. Not sure. This one.
Okay.
Cow rescued from Australian mall gets stuck in the mud the next morning. Firefighters in Australia saw a cow. Firefighters in Australia said a cow found wandering through a mall was rescued a second time less than 24 hours later when it became stuck in mud. Fire and Rescue in New South Wales said the curious cow was first rescued Tuesday night when it was found wandering loose through a shopping centre. Firefighters consulted with police and ended up taking the cow to the grounds of Western Sydney University to keep it safe overnight. The cow ended up needing to be rescued again Wednesday morning when firefighters received a call reporting the bovine had wandered into a dam on the campus and became stuck up to its stomach in mud.
Oh no!
The firefighters used a fire hose to fashion a makeshift lasso, which they threw around the cow's neck and gently eased her out of the mud. Officials say they're still trying to identify the cow's owner. What's she doing?
Oh my goodness.
She's just out here doing her own thing.
That cow is just living her best life.
I kind of love her. I hope she's okay, but I kind of love her. This one terrified me. These ones are all pretty recent. These are all like this week. This one freaked me out because the picture is like super intense. Like it looks really, really bad, but I don't know if it's like... Anyways, hand sanitizer catches fire in Los Angeles parking lot. I'll describe the picture to you. Like, I'll send you this so you can like maybe post it on the Instagram or something, but like it's a big... It's probably the size of like 2 or 3 like buses side by side. Like it's a big space that's on fire.
Yeah.
Firefighters in Los Angeles battled an unusual blaze when several pallets of hand sanitizer caught fire in a parking lot. Okay.
Oh my god, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. I presumed it was like a singular hand sanitizer in someone's car, but it's a whole pallet. Like it's several pallets. Yeah. Like it's a lot.
Pallets are very large, so that's fucked.
The LA Fire Department said crews responded to what was initially thought to be a trash fire Monday afternoon in a downtown parking lot, but the firefighters soon discovered the small blaze was actually caused by several pallets of hand sanitizer. Quote, this is the department, the product is confirmed to be hand sanitizer. Sorry, I don't know how to say that word sometimes. The product is confirmed to be hand sanitizer, which is clean burning. The safest operation is to allow the product to burn off while ensuring it doesn't
spread.
Damage. Yeah. I just can't read all of a sudden. Firefighters said they prevented the flames from spreading to nearby vehicles and that no injuries were reported. I mean, that's okay. It was a little boring. When I initially read that headline, I don't know why. It's not that I wanted something worse to happen, don't get me wrong. But I thought that it was like a hand sanitizer in someone's car that had exploded and then the car caught fire. And I feel like that's so much more of a scary story. That would have been a better story. Because we all have hand sanitizers in our cars because, hello, COVID, and like, really you should just have
I still have it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think you should have one anyways. But, and this is probably like a hot take. Especially like up here, people are like so against this, but like I'm not even opposed to wearing a mask in certain places. Like if I go to the doctor and they require a mask, I have no problem with that. Because first off, who goes to the doctor?
Sick people.
You know what I mean? I think we can normalize that. Like just at the doctor. I don't think like for everywhere because I don't think that they're actually like a great idea long term all day every day. And I think even
who I do think should always wear gloves and masks no matter what, COVID or not.
Who?
People who handle our food.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Dude, I've worked at a restaurant. I've worked at some restaurants in the past, and I have seen some horrific shit go down in the back where customers can't see. And
people are disgusting.
Like,
that's like what it comes to.
Servers like taking fries off of people's plates and eating them, and like I once saw this kid knuckle deep in his nose and then and then he went and grabbed drinks for a table without washing his hands.
Oh.
Then I saw a different guy. Fucking knuckle deep in his ear.
Oh god.
And then without washing his hands, went and like squeezed lemon wedges into somebody's water with his bare hand.
No. Well, this is
So,
the
like-
thing. This is the thing on that too, right? Is like even if those people were wearing gloves, it doesn't make them any cleaner. So this is what I
No.
mean by that. I worked. I'm not going to say where this place was. She didn't work in my department. Let me just say, but we were right next to each other.
Mhm.
And this lady in this other department would wear gloves, but she would always wear the same fucking pair of gloves. So like so at this place that I worked at, I guess I just have to say it. I worked in a bakery.
Mhm.
So I also have no problem wearing gloves. I have no problem wearing a fucking mask. You know what I mean? Especially if
Yeah.
I'm like handling food. Like if I'm handling
Yeah.
the food, I'm wearing gloves even if it's not required. So
Yeah.
stock up. You know, that's what I told them. I was like, this isn't enough fucking gloves. What are you talking about? Anyways, so you wear gloves to do the thing, and once you're done with that product and it goes in the oven, or once you're done with whatever that is,
Mhm.
you take the gloves off, because then you
Change
go
your
to a
gloves.
list and you write something, or then you go grab
Mhm.
something, or then you're going to grab like ingredients that are in packaging, right? You set all your stuff up, you get everything ready, and then as soon as you start to touch the fucking raw food product again, a new pair of gloves goes on. So it's really it's
Yeah.
not rocket science. Like it doesn't take
The
a lot
gloves-
to do
The gloves only work if you're constantly changing them.
Yeah, but this bitch would dead ass wear the same pair of gloves for every single order that she would serve, and they would be slimy and wet, and I would be just astonished. And she was an older lady.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that doesn't have anything to do with it, but like, I don't know. Like, believe it or not, like, I'm not a fan of confrontation, and believe it or not, like, what do you do in that situation? I'm wondering if I should have said something, but it's also like, bitch, I wasn't paid enough to give a fuck more about
Yeah.
than what I was doing. You know what I mean? That's why
Yeah,
capitalism
for
is
sure.
bad too, because you don't care more about what else is going on. If you're gonna put me in a
Mhm.
box and throw peanuts at me, then I'm just gonna do what's in my box, what my peanuts are
Yeah.
worth. You know,
Right. Yep.
I'm not gonna care about
That's
anything
how that
else.
works. Mm-hmm.
Capitalism.
It's the devil.
Here's one. This is kind of related to capitalism, I guess. California woman receives 100 portable heaters she never ordered.
How many?
100.
Why?
I don't know. I guess we're gonna. Hopefully, we find out. Hopefully, like this article takes us a little bit further. A California woman is trying to get to the bottom of an unusual mystery after being inundated.
Inundated. Good job.
Oh, thank you. Cool. Inundated with about 100 packages, each containing a portable heater. She said she received about 100 space heaters in the mail at her Sacramento home, and the mysterious packages started arriving earlier this month. That would have been in December. They started coming Friday, 2 weeks before Christmas, and every day I would get sometimes 2 boxes, sometimes more. Yesterday, there were 7 boxes waiting on the porch for us. She said the packages come from multiple locations across the country, including Iowa and North Carolina. She said the same thing over and over again. I have never ordered a portable heater. I don't need one. Yeah, Sacramento doesn't get like too cold, right?
It can get pretty chilly there even during the day, actually, because it's
Okay.
right on the water, and it's actually
Okay, yeah.
yeah, like it's not Southern California, so it's Northern
Mhm.
California on the coast, and it actually does get kind of chilly there.
Okay, yeah. I think she was maybe just trying to prove that she didn't order them, but she suspects her address may be erroneously. What's so funny?
I'm just laughing that this lady is like got like 100 heaters.
I've been so on edge with that recently. Like, even with Patrick, like he'll giggle sometimes, and I'm like, "What's so funny?" Like immediately, without even like looking around to see what's going on. Like I'm immediately
You're so
defensive.
aggressive.
And to be honest with you, like I need to chill on that because I am hilarious. So it's like sometimes people are gonna laugh. Like I don't need to be so defensive.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, sorry guys, sorry about that. Anyways, she suspects her address may be erroneously listed. I hope I said that right.
Yes, you did.
What does that mean? Oh, because it's an error. I see it. Error. Yeah. Yep. Erroneously listed as a return address for an Amazon space heater seller. That's a good theory. What happens if somebody comes back on me saying, well, we sent them to your house, what did you do with it? She said. A couple of Acton, Massachusetts faced a similar problem in 2018 when their house received a flood of Amazon packages containing small, inexpensive items they had never ordered. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you get something in the mail like this
or like an Amazon delivery
thing, wouldn't it say your name?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Like, wouldn't it have your name and your address on the package?
Yeah. So, like, this couple, for example, are saying that their house received a flood of Amazon packages containing small and expensive items they never ordered. Like, did it say Mr. and Mrs. I didn't order this at 123 Didn't Order Street? Or is it just like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, and I'm not saying it's impossible because I got a package. And it was addressed to me, to my house. Like, it said my name on it. Like, I don't open other people's mail. Like, I'm a big person for privacy, so I take it very seriously. Like, I'll never, you know what I mean? I'm uncomfortable if my neighbor's mail gets put in my mailbox. I'm like, ooh, what do I do? I swear I didn't want this. Like, I feel gross touching it. And I open this thing, and it's this big, like, you know, like the fabric posters? Like, it's like a flag, like a banner.
Yeah, like a tapestry?
Yeah. But it's of what I presume is a rapper. I've never heard of this person. I don't even know where this thing is anymore. But it was like, sorry. I just got a text message. There's drama happening between like me and my neighbor. And maybe I'll spill the tea on this another time. But
yeah, maybe when we're not recording, because I definitely want to know what's going on.
Yeah, but
on our break.
I just got a text message from my landlord, so that's interesting.
Fun.
Anyways, yeah, it was like this just obscure like tapestry thing. So it definitely happens, but 100 of the same item was a little weird.
That's crazy. That's weird.
Yeah,
that's spooky. What kind of message are you trying to send me? Am I a frigid bitch? Is that why you sent me 100 space heaters? I mean, not me personally. I could never be a frigid bitch, but...
I would love to know, too, if they were, like, in her name. But here, Amazon has a statement, and it said, we are investigating inquiries from consumers who have received unsolicited packages, as this would violate our policies. We remove sellers in violation of our policies, withhold payments, and work with law enforcement to take appropriate action.
Wow. Interesting.
That's just a generated response.
Yeah.
That was a nothing sentence. All right, let's see what this next one is all about. I'm a little shook with that text message. Like, actually...
Do you want to look at it?
I did. Well, because like when it comes up on my laptop, you can see what it says.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm a little shook. So apologies, listener, if I said listener, singular.
Yeah, there's only one person listening to this right now.
Apologies, listener, if I sign a little shaken. It's only you. I'm not even listening. Okay. Medical group's holiday text message turns into the stuff of nightmares.
Oh, I'm so ready for this.
Said, yeah, it's the spooky one, I think. I haven't read this. One patient said she was shaking and close to tears after reading the text message. Thousands of patients at a British medical clinic received some horrific news just before Christmas when they were told via text that they had aggressive lung cancer. Let me just say, before I even continue with this article, listeners, if you get a text message about anything personal or private, it's not real. If you ever get a message from a tax person, the bank, Amazon, your TV provider, like nothing ever, your doctor, nothing is ever done via text message in the real world, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, doesn't make it not scary. But the messages from the Askern medical practice in Doncaster, England turned out to be a mistake. Wow. The clinic said, "Please accept our sincere apologies for the previous text message sent. This has been sent in error. Our message to you should have read, 'We wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.'" What?
It was a prank. It had to have been a prank, a really bad prank. Was it just one person who was texted, or was it multiple?
No, it says multiple.
So it was like a mass text. So whoever composed the text did that on purpose, I'm sure.
Wow. The BBC
It's
said
a really
it.
fucked up prank.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm sure that they would be able to figure out who did this. Let's see what the rest of it says. The BBC said it took up to an hour for patients to receive the correction. I'm not going to say her name. One patient told the broadcaster she had been waiting for biopsy results when she received the message and felt sick to my teeth and broke down. Another patient told The Sun that his partner burst into tears upon hearing the news. He called the clinic but couldn't get through and then went in person.
Oh my God.
He told the newspaper, quote, "They went from 'You've got lung cancer' to 'Merry Christmas' in about an hour. Unbelievable." That is unbelievable. Another patient said on Facebook that she was shaking and close to tears after getting the message.
Oh,
and
that is
another,
so sad.
I know, imagine another patient told NPR he would not be returning to the practice. Quote, "That kind of thing breaks people and drives people to despair," unquote. The clinic has not publicly commented. Well,
That's fucked up.
well,
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Oh
how
my
does that
God.
even happen?
Because people are evil. I fucking told you that.
Yeah,
Somebody did that on purpose.
Of
That
course
was
they
not
did.
an accident.
of course it
It was
wasn't.
not an accident. Like, somebody did
Absolutely.
that shit on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm sure they thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, probably.
That's
And that's
some
the thing too,
bullshit.
is it's like you can tell, you know, that cringy feeling that you feel like deep in your soul when somebody thinks something is really funny and it's not. It's just like, do you remember that story you told about that guy basically making
Oh,
ableist
yeah.
jokes and he thought he was hilarious?
Yeah.
Like that feeling of like cringy, and it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like not, well,
I was like crawling out of my skin watching
Mhm.
him do it, and I was like, "Oh, stop!" And I literally was like, "Mo, that's why you're not supposed to like make fucking fun of people with disabilities, you fucking idiot!" Like,
yeah,
gross.
it's just icky. It's not the vibe that you think it is.
I'm not here for it.
No.
Speaking
I
of
believe-
shitty things at work,
Yeah,
oh, was that the end of the article of that one?
that was the end of the article.
Okay. Now that the seasonal time at work is ended, I can talk about this because this person doesn't work there anymore. But there was somebody stealing from our backpacks in our lockers in the break room.
What?
Yeah. We all know who it was, but because there's no cameras in the break room, it was never proven. But we all like checked the cameras going in and out of the break room.
Yeah.
And it was always this one person who was there every time somebody got something stolen from them.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend Terry, shout out Terry, he listens, I love him. I love you, Terry.
Oh, hi, Terry.
He was the first person to get hit. He went into, like, he doesn't even have a locker. He'll just throw his fanny pack, like, on top of the lockers. And he went into the break room and all his cash was gone and his credit card was on the ground
Oh my god.
in the break room. He was like, what the fuck? It was like $28 or something like that. But still, it was like his money to get home on the bus and shit. Like,
It doesn't matter what the amount was. You should never steal anything of anyone's ever.
and then I was the second person to get hit. This
Person.
person
Sorry, Terry. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
and so I carry my little backpack
Mm-hmm.
around at work, and I have, well, actually, that's my who the fuck are you? We're about to empty out our bags and tell each other what we have in them.
Oh, okay. So that means I'm gonna have to actually. Okay, I'll explain when we get to that.
Okay,
bit. Yeah.
let me finish telling you about this.
Yeah.
So, I'm very particular with how I keep my things organized in my bag.
Yes.
And I went into my locker, and mind you, I've been working at this place since like February of 2021. I've never had to have a lock on my locker because nobody's ever done anything like this before.
Yeah.
And I went in to my locker to get my bag to go home for the day. And when I opened my locker, my backpack zipper was open.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't leave it open. I don't do that.
Yeah. No.
All the shit
You're the type of
inside
person
my
that
backpack.
knows, too. Like, you know exactly
Mhm.
how you left something when you left it. I totally get that.
Yup. And I grabbed my bag, and everything inside has been touched, moved,
Yeah.
like around.
Ransack.
Lucky for me, that day I had my wallet in my back pocket in my jeans.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing was stolen from me because there's nothing of value in my backpack. My wallet's in my pocket.
Yeah.
So I was just like blown away that somebody had the fucking audacity to go into my stuff and touch my stuff.
That's so gross, though. Like, that's such
It's
a
so
violating
gross.
feeling.
So violating, dude. I was pissed. And then Kristen, shout out Kristen, she listens. I love you, Kristen.
Oh,
Kristen. she got stolen from too. Her credit cards and her debit card were just gone when she.
Interesting. It would make me wonder if it was even the same person because
It was.
Big's cash was gone, but the credit card was left.
Oh, that is because one of the managers walked in to the break room, and the girl was like, "Oh, I found this card on the floor."
It was a girl?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Get it together, bitch. I hope she listens. Get it together, bitch.
Yeah, right. She doesn't. I never even spoke to her, like, because I'm a mean girl, as you know. I never even spoke to her. Like, I told you like a couple episodes back. Like, I don't bother to get to know any of my coworkers until they've been there for a while. And,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna bother to get to know the seasonal people because you're not gonna be here after the holidays.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not gonna use up my mental bandwidth
Yeah.
to, like, get to know you when I don't care to know you and
Yeah.
you're nobody to me. Like,
To be honest,
so I never
think
even
too, like certain places, depending on the industry and whatever, you know, depending on that, like obviously you don't give away where you work, but it's not like it's a restaurant where like, you know, the way like your server team, or if it was like a pool house and all the waitresses, like you're a team. So you kind of do want to introduce and speak to each other nicely because I might need you later. You might need me later.
to help me. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
yeah.
in a situation where like it's not like that and you have no need to create some type of friendly dynamic, don't. Like, people should always remember that too. Like, your coworkers do not need to be your friends. Your coworkers are not your family, and any employer that tries to call you family is trying to make you a cult, and they're trying to manipulate you to do things that you don't want to do, or like get more work out of you or pay you less. Any that calls you a family, don't listen to it.
When any company wants to call you a family, it just means that they're gonna be like my family and abuse you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I hear when somebody's like, "We're a family here." I'm like, "Oh, gross! I don't want to be here." Like, I don't even like my own family. Fuck you.
It's not. We're not a fucking family. You pay me to do stuff, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was my story that I wanted to tell you because
bitch.
I was so furious about it. Like, I said, I didn't have my wallet in my backpack, so nothing was taken from me, but it was just so icky. And then I obviously got a lock for my locker after that.
Yeah.
There were some people at the store who were like duct taping their lockers like shut and like making it really hard to get in there. And so fucking Sandra, shout out Sandra, I love you, Sandra.
Hello.
Fucking Sandra put in her bag, just like if you were to open, like unzip the backpack, it was just like a note with like red marker writing that just said, "Don't touch my shit. We know who you are."
So you guys kind of knew like the whole time?
Oh, we did. We definitely knew who it was because
me not liking competition.
Dude, Kristen wanted me to fucking jump this bitch so bad, dude. Kristen was like egging me on. She was like, "Tell her off, fucking jump her." And I'm like, I probably would, but whatever. I was at work, but yeah, no, everybody was furious and everybody knew who it was, but she doesn't work there anymore, so
don't steal from people, guys. Don't
especially
do it.
at work.
Just
Oh yeah, and the
anywhere,
reason,
but especially
the
at work.
way that we like figured it out who it was because there's like you can't have cameras in the break room because that's against the law. But
Okay.
there's cameras facing the break room door because that's also where the entrance of the building is.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so we like I'm a manager. We got on the cameras and started monitoring like what times people were getting stolen from, and that girl was always in the break room every time.
Okay. I'd be imagine like they continue. Like the robberies continue.
I doubt it, dude, because like I said, I'd never even had to have a lock on my locker until now. I've been working there for almost 2 years.
I'm too extra. Like that's too open and shut for me. I'm like, no, it must go deeper. Boring conclusion. Next. It's the manager.
No, and then apparently the store manager had like a talk with her, and he was like talking to her like, oh, I just was checking in with everybody to see like if you've had anything taken from your bag in the break room or anything. She was like, oh, no, I didn't know, like all like defensive and stuff. And he was like, yeah, well, someone's going around taking people's stuff, and you know, whoever's doing this is a fucking coward, because my bag is always on top of the lockers and my wallet with hundreds of dollars in it is always in my bag.
Oh, trying to like set her up.
And this person doesn't have the balls to steal from me, but they're stealing from their coworkers, blah, blah, blah. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sure he made her feel like a giant pile of shit with all of that, but...
Wouldn't it be a shame if somebody got this huge diamond out of my bag? I wish I worked there with you guys. That would be so fun. Never mind.
It is fun.
I never, ever, ever want to like clock in like that for somebody else. The way that my job is, I'm too used to it.
Yeah.
And
You're
I think
for yourself pretty much.
I can't go back to that ever again. Like the only time that I could see myself going back to that would be if I was working in like a fashion design house, or if I was like renting a space in a salon, like doing nails.
Nice.
That's it. Yeah. I don't think I could go like do the whole team shit again.
Yeah.
But I have one more article for you.
Okay.
I want to say that this one's cute, but I haven't read it, so I want to wait until we read it to see. Woman left shocked after mistaking Tasmanian devil for dog toy in her home.
What?
Yeah.
A dog toy?
Do you know what a Tasmanian devil looks like?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cute, but kind of small-ish, I guess. Like Ophi size, like my dog size.
Yeah.
Anyways, the devil allegedly made its way into the home after following her puppy inside. That's my life. Whole sentence is my life. After the pet went for a bathroom break. Oh, cute way to put that. A woman in Australia got quite the wild surprise after mixing up her golden retriever's faux Tasmanian devil plush toy with an actual real live devil.
Oh my God.
On Wednesday evening inside her home in Australia on the island... Oh, she's in Tasmania. She went to reach for what she thought was her pup's trinket when it suddenly raced away. She said, I went to reach for it, the devil shot under the couch. End quote. The Tasmanian devil is the world's largest carnivorous marsupial.
It is? I didn't know it was a marsupial. That's so cool.
There's a type of kangaroo that's actually the world's largest marsupial, but I don't think they're carnivorous. That could be the difference.
Oh.
Anyways, not relevant. According to National Geographic, it can grow to around the size of a large heist cat. Yeah, so like Ophi size.
Oh my God.
Utterly shocked at her discovery, she let out a scream that woke up her family, who rushed to see what caused the uproar. To get rid of the furry intruder, her husband carefully escorted the Tasmanian devil, who's known to fly into a rage when threatened by a predator, by the way, out of their home using a broom. Meanwhile, she and her children gathered atop the kitchen table with bated breath as he shooed out the creature. I can like see this happening. I can't even imagine like what that split second, right when like she saw it dart away. I can't even imagine this poor lady. Like I would have been like,
am I fucking having a stroke? Do I smell toast? Like, am I coming unraveled?
Yeah.
Like,
You'd be like frozen in like disbelief and shock. Like, I wouldn't know what the fuck. She said we were concerned that if she or he was cornered and scared. Aw, it's cute that she said it like that. Sorry, we were cute. No, we weren't. We were concerned that if... Well, we are, but we're also concerned. We were concerned that if she or he was cornered and scared that it would bite someone. I got the fright of my life, but to be honest, I think the poor thing was more terrified of us. Aw. Nobody got hurt by the signs of it. As for how the devil wound up in their home, the pet owner said she believes the animal made its way into the house by following their family's new puppy, Gecko. Oh, shout out Gecko. Inside after the pet went outdoors for a bathroom break. Aw. Yeah, everyone's fine.
Wow.
I thought that was cute though, because I feel like that's something that would happen to you or it would happen to me for sure.
There was one time when a lizard darted into my apartment and I screamed my fucking head off because it was before my cats had moved from California to over here to be with me. And so I didn't have my defenses. I didn't have my cats because they take care of everything. If my place even has bugs, which I'm sure it doesn't, but if it did, I wouldn't have any idea because my choo-choo and my nunu, they go and they kill everything. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I didn't have them though, and I was screaming my fucking head off. It made its way all the way into the restroom before it was extracted from the unit. Yeah.
There's a lot of lizards out there. Do you remember the year of COVID when we got in Vegas, we got like infiltrated by moths or something?
No, they weren't moths. They were grasshoppers.
Is that what they were?
I think they were grasshoppers. Yeah, I remember that. That was like living in a nightmare for me.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was every day there were multiple of these like fluffy flying things. But Ophi, that's my dog, listeners, she ended up becoming a really good hunter for these. She became like a bug dog. So like we're all trapped in the house, right? It's like COVID. So like all I'm doing is day drinking. And I would hang out in my room and like, what was I really into at the time? I think I watched like all the Final Destinations. And
love.
Oh, I started doing this thing on Instagram where I would let people pick what I would do for the day, like control my life kind of thing. So I did that a lot. Anyways, like Ophi got so good at it that it would just take me screaming in a certain way for her to run in and be like, "Where are they, Mom?" and would like fully attack them and get them and eat them. And it was amazing. She doesn't do anything else. She sucks at everything else, but that she's good at.
Yeah, no, that was awful because like my laundry room in my building is out. Like I have to go outside the unit, down the stairs, and around the back side of the building. Mm-hmm. When I tell you, oh my god, dude, I would throw on like a hoodie and like cinch the string, so like my whole face was like covered. Because I'd have to like walk by all like the infestation of the fucking. I was like, oh, it was so and like bad. Screaming every time I had to like go do laundry. That was terrifying. It was like on the news and shit.
Was it?
It was so bad. Like the strip, yeah, because there was like footage of like it looked like it was raining grasshoppers.
Was it really grasshoppers?
On the strip.
I could have sworn that it was like moths. But to be fair, I wasn't sober for a second during all of this. Like there was not 1 minute where I was sober during lockdown, I swear to God.
Same. It was awesome.
It was really bad. For someone like me, that's not a good place to be.
No, I had the best time during lockdown. It was awesome.
Yeah. That's your morning brew.
Thank you for my morning brew.
Hopefully
I'm revitalized.
Yeah, not as enraging as last week, I feel like. Not as traumatizing, but...
Yeah.
Besides that Amazon Prime thing, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Yeah, what the fuck? Weird. Alright. Are we jumping into Who the Fuck Are You? Or did we need a little break?
We need a little break because she's ready to get up.
Locked in, don't wanna
I
let me
feel
get
like the
out.
fact that you're frozen
I'ma
means that
put
we should
you
take
on
a
a
break.
bitch, you gotta sit out.
Who the fuck are you? I have a thing, but I understand you have a thing. So I would like you to go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right. You have your bag, you have your purse, your everyday bag.
Okay, so because I never leave the house, I don't have an everyday bag anymore, but I interchange between 3. I have 3 active bags, so I brought all 3 with me.
Okay, cool. I just want you to empty them out and tell me what's inside them as you're putting it back in.
Okay. Let's start with probably the one that I used the most recent.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. Oh man. Oh fuck. Okay, I hate this. This is like exposed. They actually had us do this in fashion school. And then
really?
They made us sketch everything. Or no, what was it? They had us empty our bags and then had us design a perfume bottle or something. I don't remember.
Interesting.
All right. There's a lot.
Okay, let's do it. Tell me what's in there.
My wallet. That's
Okay.
no good for anything. I have this lipstick in a dark. It's called Darling Lane. Is the shade, but it's like a dark red. It's a subtle dark.
Cute.
It's very you, actually.
Oh, is it? Is it just darling?
Yeah. I also have a dark liquid lipstick in the same color.
Ooh,
This is like very
nice.
strong. This is like a Moment. Love that.
Mm.
I have a compact that I just got for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah. I have a Tylenol.
Important.
Actually, I'm gonna pull that out because I'm gonna need that. I always get a headache after doing the podcast.
Probably from laughing so hard.
I think so. I think I always get a headache from talking about things passionately. I get overwhelmed and then I get a headache.
Look at you, you're so dainty.
Thank you. God. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna be delicate with that.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna be delicate. I'm gonna pepper those in. I'm not gonna be delicate.
I mean, whatever. I think it's funny.
3 sticks of extra gum in peppermint flavor.
Yum.
A grocery list. Do you want to know everything on the grocery list? It's not. there's nothing
Sure.
interesting.
Oh,
Let's
no.
see. Okay, yeah, nothing cool at all. Yeah, just the regular cooking wine, tortillas. You know.
Cooking wine? Wow, you guys are fucking fancy.
Well, yeah, my fiance's a chef. Like, he doesn't really fuck around with. 2 pens.
2 pens?
2 pens. One from a grocery store in my area and one from the hospital when I had the baby.
Oh, cute.
A coin.
You probably shouldn't have said that. They're gonna charge you for the pen.
Right? It's $100 just for the pen.
Fuck.
A dime. That's what this is. This is a dime.
A dime.
And what is this? Oh, I think this was like a tag on like one of Wednesday's jammies. And it said, oh, I kept this because I thought it was insane and I actually wanted to show you this. Okay.
Oh,
It says,
cool.
for child's safety, garment should fit snugly. This garment is not flame resistant. Loose-fitting garment is more likely to catch fire. On what? On what?
On your body heat?
I don't know, but that freaked me out. I was like, excuse me?
That
It's
is
a good
fucking...
thing she got mommy's legs because ain't nothing loose-fitting on that baby.
She's perfect.
Sorry, actually, I didn't mean to say it like that. I gotta work on this, like, the subtle AAVE that I toss out sometimes. I realize that that's not appropriate, and I'm working on it. I apologize. Okay. My other bag just has a couple things. My passport, a lighter that says "Meet me on Mars." Two more pens. And a receipt from... Hold on. A receipt from... I guess that's never not gonna be funny. Oh, it's a receipt for a beer. This is from November 19th.
Wow. It's an old ass
Yeah.
receipt.
Yeah, well, it was before I knew I was pregnant. So,
Oh, well, there you go.
yeah. That's just 2 of them.
Okay.
This
Last one.
This one's one of my favorite bags. It's from Blackcraft Cult. I don't think you
Okay.
can see, but there's like, it's just a really nice bag. This is full of garbage.
The really nice bag is just full of garbage.
Yeah, there's 50 cents.
Sounds like we just described us a little bit.
Yeah,
Really nice bag full of garbage.
really nice. It's a bougie bag full of garbage. This is like some type of snack. I don't know what it is. It looks like possibly a crouton or something. I don't know. 2 tampons. Sorry, 3 tampons. Looks like a tissue, another grocery list, a jar full of pistachios, shelled,
I love a pistachio.
another quarter, another tissue. Hello. Ooh, another quarter. Dang. A scrunchie and one of these, like, you know, the brushes that, what do you call these? Like the, whatever, the brush.
A paddle brush.
And a Target gift card.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's it. So collectively, insane, I guess.
I mean, no, that was all pretty normal stuff that goes in a purse, I think.
No weapons, no sex toys.
Okay, my turn.
John Day pulls out her bag and it's nothing but weapons and sex toys. $50. There's at least 1 weapon and 1 possible sex toy in there.
This is my little backpack,
So cute.
covered in my wine and crime pins. Second favorite podcast. This one's my first.
Ooh,
All right.
we should do pins.
Yeah. Okay, so I have my sunglasses that I bought when I was with you at Nordstrom Rack. I still wear these.
I love that.
And my little,
Kept
my
them
little case
nice.
it goes in. Yeah.
Oh, that's how you kept them nice.
Yeah. Well, there is a scratch on one of the lenses, but I don't care enough to stop wearing them.
Yeah.
Got some mints.
Ooh, what flavor? Is it spearmint?
Winter green.
Okay, I think that's a spearmint.
I don't know. My iPhone cord for when I'm at work in the car. Got some allergy eye relief multi-action Visine because my allergies are fucking insane here when the wind kicks up.
Would you like to know a natural remedy for allergies? I suffer with possibly the worst allergies in the world. Like, I will take anyone on. So I've done a lot of research on this.
Okay.
And something that you can do that releases a natural antihistamine in your body is 15 minutes of sex or 30 minutes of making out with someone.
I think you've told me this before.
It's one of my favorite facts, so I probably have.
So 15 minutes of like 15 minutes of boning or 30 minutes of making out.
Yes.
Good to know. Thank you. I love that now.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that for myself and my allergies. I've got some sunscreen just because I'm always in the car in the summer, especially. So for my hands and my neck.
Yeah.
Those are important. I have some Advil.
Yes.
Dual action, body and mind. I've got a condom in my backpack.
I told you, well, it's not really a sex toy, but it's sex related, so I get a point.
Whatever. Shut the fuck up. It's not a sex toy. I took that out the other day. I have a box cutter.
I knew there was a weapon. Okay, I win. I win this game. I know it's not a game, but I won it.
I have a box cutter because I work in a place where I have to open boxes. Whatever, dude. Maybe defend myself if I have to.
I used to have a little knife around my neck for that exact reason. Someone made it for me.
That. Sandra wears a knife around her neck. Oh, somebody made it for you?
Yeah, so I'll show a picture because I don't know. I guess there's tea on that. But anyways, I worked at this place where there was like a storeroom in the back, and one of the guys I worked with walked into the back storeroom and caught me opening one of the boxes with my earring. Because there was nothing else around, and I'm not like coming all the way back to get something. Like, I'm resourceful.
Right.
And he was like, "Oh, you need a box opener or whatever," and I was like, "I'm good," and just like went back to work with what I got. Like a few days later, he showed up with this little knife because he makes knives, and he showed up with this like little knife and like a little holster. It's so cute, and that was my
cute.
box knife. Yeah.
I love that. That's super cute. I have my little pill container for the days of the week.
Nice.
7-sided. I guess it's a septagon? Yeah, it's a septagon.
Yeah, nice.
I like hexagons personally, but there's 7 days in the week, so, and I have to take these pills every day.
Yeah.
Lexapro
I
and biotin is what's in each of those.
Ooh.
Because you gotta keep this hair looking good, you know what I mean? Alright. I have some hand sanitizer in my backpack. So that would really suck if it was just gonna combust and blow up in my backpack.
Yeah, that's what I thought earlier.
I have this little book, my little journal that I write my poetry in.
Nice.
Throughout the days.
I'm not ready to move on from the hand sanitizer.
Oh, okay.
Listeners, for those that are listening, you guys obviously can't see this. Jande has a hand sanitizer that she carries around in her bag that I'm guessing she uses this bag every day, carries this stuff around every day, right?
It's with me all day, every day.
This is a pump hand sanitizer. A pump action. This is not like a cut. What's wrong with you?
What do you mean what's wrong with me?
That's lunacy. That's unhinged. That's unhinged. That's the most unhinged thing you've ever showed me.
Why?
What do you mean why? It's a pump action.
It's never like pumped itself.
No, that stresses me out.
Okay, to be fair, this backpack sits in the passenger seat of the van at work. And it doesn't move. So like when I shut up, when I get back in the van after like I've made a delivery and maybe I was like in an old folks home or like wherever, right? I'll get in the van and it sits on the side of the bag, and when I get back in the van I just pump the thing in my hand and
Oh, so it's like in the drink holder on the side of your bag?
No, it's in the bag.
In the bag, zipped inside the bag, closed in the compartment?
The bag is never zipped when it's sitting next to me in the van.
Okay,
it's
but
open.
at some point you close that bag, leave the van, walk around, do stuff, and then get back in your own vehicle. At some point that bag is closed with that hand sanitizer in it.
Yeah.
Psychotic.
I can't believe that's what you're clinging to.
Yeah, I would be able to think of nothing else but that hand sanitizer if that was in my bag.
Well, like I said, it's never given me a problem, so I don't have anything to worry about.
My god. She lives on the edge, and I can't relate with that at all. That is just wild to me.
That's what's edgy about my backpack is the fucking hand sanitizer.
Yeah, everything else is pretty straightforward. That's just ridiculous.
Alright, I have 4 tampons.
Oh, you beat me by 1.
I have blotting paper for when I get all oily at work and don't want to wash my face because I have makeup on. Let's see what's in the pockets. My name tag from work.
Oh, cute.
Parking garage stub from when I went to go see Tiger Army for my birthday this year. A pen, because obviously to go with my poetry book, I need a pen.
Mm-hmm.
One tiny blue little hair tie thing. And let's see what else. Okay.
You have more in this little bag than I have in all 3 of my bags combined.
That's just like the main bag and the side pockets, but this front pocket has a spare set of keys. My grandma's house keys on that one too.
Cute.
Chapstick, always applying chapstick all day long. Because I love chapstick. I have a wine key and it's also like a bottle opener, but I've had this since high school and I just love it so much, and it's such a great wine key, and it also doubles up as a weapon.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you were fucking right. I have this roll of dimes for some reason.
What's going on with the dimes? Because one of my bags only had a dime in it, money-wise.
Oh, weird. Okay,
We're tens. We're tens. Confirmed.
We're tens?
Yeah.
Oh, I have some Abreva in my backpack because sometimes I'm plagued with fucking cold sores and really sucks so bad. Hate it. So fucking gross. I hate it. All right, what the fuck is
It's
in
not
here?
gross, but no kissing.
It is
newborn.
gross. I hate it. Yeah, no, I don't. I've got.
I mean, listeners, just
little-
don't kiss someone's baby if it's not yours. I just gotta say that. Just
yeah,
don't
no
kiss-
shit, dude. I've got these cute little spider hair clips.
Oh, I love it when you do those like up here, like the way. This is like terrible for people who can't see what I'm doing, but it's like it's almost like a 90s inspired hairstyle. It's
Yeah,
cute.
I love it. I call it my little devil girl hair.
Yes.
I feel like it's got makes my hair look like horns. Okay, and then I have 7 quarters.
Okay.
And that's everything in my backpack. Yep. Maybe some gum wrappers, just because I don't like to litter ever.
Yes.
So, oh yeah, and a face mask for just in case I have to go inside like hospitals or old folks' homes and stuff like that, so I don't get sick. Because it's like not even about COVID at that point; it's about everything else you could possibly fucking catch in a hospital.
Exactly. Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, like I think it's totally fine to like normalize masks in places where there's more people that are sick. I think it's normal.
Like hospitals, and I also think people who handle our food should always wear masks.
Yes.
That's just a personal opinion, though. I know people are gonna come for me for that.
You can come for us on anything, but gloves and masks in food service, like I'm totally on the side of.
Yeah,
Gloves,
for sure.
for sure.
It's like I don't want somebody breathing on me. It's like I'd rather just like not even go to the fucking restaurant.
Yeah. Well, every time you breathe or speak, spit comes out, whether you see it or not.
Duh, that's what I mean. It's like fucking gross that people don't understand that concept. Even after everything our society has lived through in the recent years, it's like you would think that people would fucking get a clue.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't believe the announcements that were being made on lessons how to wash your hands back when COVID first hit. I was like, are we really doing, did we not learn how to wash our fucking hands? But then I realized how common it is for me to see men, usually more, right, who go pee and don't wash their hands. And in their mind, they haven't touched anything. But it's like, well, you have. Because first off, you've touched your dick. I know you've touched your dick. Second off, you've touched the flusher where someone else has touched and probably taken a shit, right?
Yeah.
You've touched other things in the bathroom. The bathroom is a disgusting place. The whole world is a disgusting place. But I think we can all agree that a bathroom is nasty, right?
Yeah.
So people that don't wash their hands after they pee, I just can't, especially in public. Like if you're at home, right? Like I'm not going to go crazy at like my husband if he like doesn't wash his hands in the middle of the night after he pees. If he doesn't wash his hands after he poops, I'm gonna have something to say. But luckily I got lucky. I got a clean guy. But you know what I'm saying? When you're out in public, just wash your hands like basically anytime you touch anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
When I get into like little housing communities when I'm working, that's why I have the hand sanitizer, because I have to touch like the call boxes.
Yes, gross.
To get in. Yeah, those are gross. I have to sanitize my hands
Our
after
phones too. Like I feel icky like texting and then putting my phone down and then grabbing the baby. I'm like, that just feels wrong to me. Like, yeah.
I mean, your phone is pretty filthy. Like, not yours. Like, anybody's phone is filthy.
Everybody's.
You're touching it all day. Yeah.
It's a cesspool.
Did you know that your mouth is actually full of more bacteria than your butthole is? At all
Yes,
times?
I did know that.
Your mouth is like, not your Taylor specifically mouth, but the mouth is the like dirtiest thing.
Yeah, it's
On the
disgusting.
body.
And here's an interesting thing for you listeners, specifically women. If you're ever being assaulted or being attacked, bite your assailant as hard as you can, like try and take flesh, because human bites will 100% always get infected. So there's a few things in play here, right? Not only will that person have to go to the hospital and you're more likely to figure out who it was because you can contact the law enforcement, but also they're going to fucking remember that you fucked them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not getting
For
off
sure.
scot-free. So always, like, try and bite your... I mean, try and just, like, run, like, get away, obviously. But, like, should you be in a position where you can bite them? Fucking bite them. Yeah.
Mhm.
As hard as you can. Like, literally try and rip flesh.
Wow,
I'm not
now
inciting violence, by the way. I'm
No.
inciting self-defense.
But now I'm kind of, like, hoping somebody comes for me so that I can bite the shit out of them.
Yeah. It'll always get infected because we are nasty.
All right, do you have Who the Fuck Are You for me?
I do. I have 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, goodness. It was so hard for me to come up with 2 truths and a lie. I just feel like you know me so well. And all I ever do is talk about myself, so...
I mean... yeah, that's true.
Am I going first or are you going first?
How many do you have?
I just have 3. 2
Okay.
truths and a lie. Isn't that how this is supposed to work?
So just 1? Because I have 5. Like 5 2 truths and a lie.
Bitch, I didn't know you had that many.
You go first then, because mine's gonna be a whole thing. Obviously.
All right. I'm allergic to bees.
Okay.
My middle name is Desiree. And I always got perfect attendance awards in school.
Okay, well, I actually think that I really want to say the third one. I really want to say perfect attendance, but I also know that low-key, even though you're a rebel and anarchy, you're also really good at school. So I'm going to say that's the truth. What was the first one? I know the first one was, you're allergic to bees. I know this. Okay. And I don't think your middle name is Desiree. I just don't think it is.
Damn it. See, this is what I mean. I knew they weren't going to be any good.
Jonde Desiree, like, someone needs to be arrested.
Do you know what my middle name is?
What? No, I don't. Is it Desiree? Oh my god, am I like making fun of something? What's your middle name? You want to say?
I think that's crazy that you didn't even know what my middle name was and you knew that that was the lie. My middle name is, oh god, my middle name is Destiny.
Oh, I did know that. I did know that, actually. But I wouldn't have been able to remember it. But you have told me that before.
Oh,
That's
god
pretty,
damn
though.
it.
Jonde Destiny is pretty. I like that a lot. What's my middle name? Bitch.
I don't know. I'm sure once you say it, I'll be like, oh yeah, duh, I knew that.
It's a trick question, because I don't have one.
You don't have one?
I have a hyphenated first name. So people tend to think that my middle name
Rose
is
middle.
But my first name is Taylor Rose. I've just exposed myself because there's literally like one other Taylor Rose in the world. Or there's probably more now, but like, yeah, I don't have a middle name, so.
Well, you don't need one when you have a fucking hyphenated first name.
Yeah, not necessary. I don't even want like a last name until I marry Patrick because I just don't claim it. Like, no offense to my family, like, I just don't. I just don't, like, you know what I mean? I'm not passionate about my last name.
Yeah, I used to hate both my first and my last name and my middle name. Now I just kind of hate my middle name, but
Yeah.
I used to hate my last name because I hated my family so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, ugh, it's like the thing that makes me like one of them, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I never changed my name when I got married, and that certainly was a good call on my end.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm John Day Moscott, and that's who I was born as.
You said your full name?
And
I can bleep
that's
it.
who I'll die as. Okay.
By the way, if you want me to.
I mean, does it really matter? My name is John Day.
True. We both have quite unique first names. Like, it's easy to figure out who we are.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, bleep out my last name. It's cool.
Okay. I will. I'm going to.
Okay. Just
Okay.
doxing myself.
I'm gonna hit you with mine. I have 5.
Oh my god.
I think these will be easy, but
Okay.
I also know the answers. Okay. Number 1. I have punched a paramedic. 2. Sorry, not 2. This is still in the first one.
Mhm.
Have punched a paramedic. have shaved one side of my head, have gotten a nose piercing.
I don't think you've ever had your nose pierced, have you?
Which one's the lie?
That's the lie.
The nose piercing?
Yeah.
You're right. You got it right.
When I heard you say punched a paramedic, I was like, that's so something you would have done.
Yeah, it's something I would have done. Just to clarify, I would never do that now. Yeah,
those are back in your 20s, I think, maybe.
I think I was 18. Yeah, not a good... I feel really bad about that still to this day. Anytime I've told that story, it's like, you know the way you tell stories about, like, oh, back in the day when I was a wild one, you know, and I sound like I'm so old, like I'm literally not, but like that one, that story has never got a good reaction from anyone I've told it to.
No,
ever.
that's like terrible.
Yeah, it's like not a good one at all.
Somebody like was just trying to do their job, and their job is to literally resuscitate and help people, and you punch them in the face.
Well, they were helping me too. Like,
oh, you poor thing.
It's not. Yeah, it was a bad time. Okay, second cluster here. I lost my virginity to a friend's ex-boyfriend. I have been on a date with a rapper. I have cheated on a boyfriend. Which one's the lie?
That you cheated on a boyfriend?
That's the lie?
Yeah.
2 for 2. I'm exposing some pretty shameful things about myself here too, by the way.
I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, I don't care either. Okay, third cluster. I went through a klepto phase. I have been on a cruise. Or I have slapped or physically harmed my mother. Which one is the lie?
This one's tough. I don't think you ever hit your mom.
Wrong. I've never been on a cruise.
Damn, I guess I just used to think highly of you or something.
Yeah, that's a pretty shameful one too. Don't hit your mothers. Don't hit anybody, just walk away. Okay, fourth cluster. I have gone through a boyfriend's phone. I have stolen a car. I have set fire to an abandoned house. Which one is the lie?
What was the first one again?
I've gone through my boyfriend's phone.
I don't think you've set a house on fire.
Correct. That is the lie. Who hasn't gone through? I mean, I would never do that now, but I caught someone cheating by doing that. And the only lesson that it taught me was to trust my intuition, and that if I was at the point where someone would, because it was a very like manipulative, gaslighty kind of relationship, that should have been enough for me. Like I didn't need the confirmation, but I did because I was an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you got the confirmation. Have you seen that girl, that TikToker, who she like shows when she DMs dudes when the girlfriend asks like, can you like message my boyfriend? I want a faithful test or whatever it's called.
Yes. I hate them.
I live for those. I live for those TikToks. They're so good. And it's always like the dude getting mad.
Yeah. I know.
At
like,
her.
Where do you have the right to get mad? Come on. Okay. Last one. I've slept with under 50 people. I broke into someone's car to have sex with a guy on our first date. I've never had an STD.
You've never had an STD?
You think that's the lie?
No, I don't.
You did?
No, I have to think about it again. No.
I can totally change. I can repeat them if you want.
Yeah, one more time.
Okay. I've slept with under 50 people. I broke into someone's car to have sex with a guy on our first date. Or I've never had an STD.
The first one's the lie. You've definitely fucked more than 50 people. Oh no, sorry. This isn't about me. Oh, okay. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of which one's the lie.
I thought you were frozen.
No, I'm like actually frozen in my seat because I'm like, wait. Which one is the lie?
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me right now, Taylor? You're gonna leave me hanging like this?
Okay, I think that the lie might be that I've never had an STD, and I think the reason that I put that was because you can classify like a yeast infection, I'm whispering, a yeast infection as an STD.
I can't.
I've slept with under 50 people. That's true. I broke into someone's car to have sex with a guy on a first date. That's true. And I've also never had an STD, so there is no lie. I guess there is no lie in this one. My bad.
Prick.
I didn't need to do that.
I feel like I passed this test. I got like 3 out of the 4 correct.
You did. You did really, really well. I'm really stumped on this last one. I'm confused because I have slept with under 50 people. That's true. Broken into the car. That's true. Never had an STD. I've had a yeast infection.
Okay, well, a yeast infection is not the same thing as an STD. Because
I've
you can
never
get
had-
yeast infections for
for
like
lots of reasons.
anything. Like you literally get your period and you can get a yeast infection. Like anything can
Yeah.
fucking cause a yeast infection.
But I think also sex does, and I think that's why I did this one, because I was trying to make it a trick question, because you can
That's
get
why you're
yeast
supposed to
infection
pee.
after sex.
That's why you're
Yeah.
supposed to pee after every time you have something in contact with your genitals.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that one was the lie that I was going for, but it's kind of not a lie. So that one sucked. I'm sorry. But you still won because you got 3 out of 4.
Yay! I win.
Yay!
Well, you won too. I only had the one set of 3, but like,
Yeah. I
You
knew
got it right.
immediately.
fuck off. It was really hard to come up with something. I'm like, this bitch knows so much about me.
It kind of is hard because you have to like think of something that's believable,
Mm-hmm.
but that you like haven't done. Something that sounds like something that you would do.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, the perfect attendance one. I always got perfect attendance awards in school.
Yeah.
I
see
also had
that
a
one?
klepto phase, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about your klepto phases, because that's all I have for you.
Okay. I don't know. After my uncle died and I started listening to My Chemical Romance, my life really changed, and I was that was the beginning of this self-destructive path that I have been blazing my whole life since then. So I don't know, I would like go to the mall all the time with my friend Alexandria and like mall rats, and like we'd panhandle, we'd shoplift. It got really, really bad when I moved to Vegas the first time when I was in 8th grade.
How
Oh,
old are you in
man.
8th grade?
13, 14? I was 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you still
I
from
don't know
like
if I should speak anymore because I'm like literally incriminating myself now.
I guess, yeah, for legal purposes, this is all satirical, but that's from like establishments. I did that one time that I can think of, and I got caught.
I never got caught.
So the klepto phase started when I was like little. Before, oh, okay, I'm like having a like revelation here, because I was gonna tell you that the reason that I went through this klepto phase is because we had moved so much and moved country, and my brother had the car accident, and I was like going through a lot. But that's bullshit, because the first time I ever did this was back when I was like 5 or 6. I would have been like 6 or 7, and my parents were away, and my father at the time's mum, so my grandma at the time, came to watch me.
Okay.
And we went to like a department store, and you know, like the little cases that have all like the rings when you were like a little girl, and they had like all like the toy jewelry, and there would be like a little box like on the thing, and there was like an assortment of rings. Well, I opened it and I took one, and when we got home, I was in my room and I was trying it on and I was wearing it, and my grandma appeared out of nowhere and was like, "Where did you get that?" And I was like, and she was like, "I know that you sold that. We're going back to the store and you're returning it, and we're going to see what they want to do with you." So she drags me back to the store, takes me into the security thing, and the man sits me down and shows me all the cameras in the store, and he's like, "We knew that you took this." by the way.
Oh my god.
And like I think back now and I'm like, he was lying, but I get what you were doing. Like that's fine. So of course, like I'm 7 or however old I am, so I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it picked up again, like, well, and then also the rest of the time, just for context, like on that person, the rest of that trip while that grandma was watching me, she thought just like everything that I ever touched was stolen, which got really annoying, but
That's stupid. Like, you were a little kid.
Yeah. Plus, also, I think that people need to realize that when little kids do things, like, usually there's a core issue.
Yeah.
So, like, I know that generationally, like, her generation doesn't give a fuck and buck up and boys don't cry and shit like that.
Right.
But, like, now I think, like, if I caught Wednesday stealing, I would try and get to the core issue. Is it because you wanted it and you couldn't have it? Is it because you couldn't afford it? Or is it because you couldn't control yourself? Like, you know, what's going on?
Right.
Because this picked up again when I was like 11, 12? What is that, 11? Because we had just moved country and my brother got in that really bad car accident. And I was genuinely traumatized. I don't think I've ever really, like, dealt with...
Processed it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we moved into this one house and there was, like... Plus I had a lot of stepdads. Let me just say, I had a lot of stepdads and that was, like, too much. Like, they would come and they would go.
I'm surprised that because they came and went so frequently and often that you even refer to them as stepdad.
Well, because they made it to that title. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm dating. Like, there was, like, those guys I'm just dating, they're not serious. But there was serious ones enough that they were moving in. So I was living with all of these stepdads interchangeably. That sounds awful. Like, I'm sorry, Mom.
Yeah, you're really painting your mom out to look like a hoe bag.
Well, I wouldn't say, like, the thing, because people always think that. People are like, oh, your mom dates and gets around a lot. It's like, no, that's not, like, what the case is. My mom just loves love. And
yeah,
she can be a difficult person. You know what I mean? She wants to be loved. She wants to be appreciated. But she's also not the type that enjoys to be tied down. I'd love to see her just be polyamorous. I'd just love her to see her, like, reject the idea of a man and a wife, and that's what's supposed to be right.
Right.
Because that's not what works for some people. And I think that she's tried so long to force that on herself that it's just backfired so many times, and then she ends up looking like the bad guy. Or he ends up looking like the bad guy. When in all reality, it's just not a lifestyle that's for her. Anyways. Right. So this one particular stepdad, we moved into his house, and across the street there was, like, kids, like, around me and my brother's age. And I started stealing their toys. I started stealing their stuff, and I had this box where I kept everything, and I got my brother in on it, and I got him to steal stuff too, and it got
you little criminal mastermind. You're like running an operation over there.
Yeah, I had like a big bounty of all this shit that I just kept taking from these kids, robbing them blind, to be quite frank, and it was like the dumbest, weirdest shit. And then we moved, and I really never had to, like, come to terms with that. I never had to deal with it. I just stopped doing it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. It's not like you killed anybody.
No. I mean, no.
No. All right. Well, I have something for you.
I'm excited.
Are you ready?
I'm really, really excited for this one because I was so into this topic
the theory
that we were going to do. And when it came to me putting together my doc for my portion, I was so underwhelmed because I forgot that, like, a lot of it's bullshit. So I'm excited to know, like, the actual science and psychology behind this. So you guys aren't going to hear me talk for a little bit. I mean, that's not a problem.
I hope I hear you talk all the time. Okay. So my newest favorite website, verywellmind.com. Their article entitled, What is the Mandela Effect? How Masses of People Can Have the Same False Memory by Arlen Kunsick? I don't know. The article states, and I'm just going to read you the article because I'm lazy. The Mandela Effect refers to a situation in a large mass of people in which a large mass of people believes that an event occurred when it did not. The term was originated in 2009 by Fiona Broome after she discovered that she, along with a number of others, believed that Nelson Mandela had died in the 1980s when he actually died in 2013. Looking at the origin of the Mandela effect, some famous examples, as well as some potential explanations for this strange confluence of perceptions, can help to shed light on this unique phenomenon. Okay, so the term Mandela effect was first coined in 2009 by Fiona Broome when she created a website to detail her observation of the phenomenon. Broome was at a conference talking with other people about how she remembered the tragedy of former South African President Nelson Mandela's death in a South African prison in the 1980s. However, Nelson Mandela did not die in the 1980s in a prison. He passed away in 2013. As Broome began to talk to other people about her memories, she learned that she was not alone. Others remembered seeing news coverage of his death, as well as a speech by his widow. Broome was shocked that such a large mass of people could remember the same identical event in such detail when it never happened. Encouraged by her book publisher, she began her website to discuss what she called the Mandela effect and other incidents like it. Any questions?
I think Fiona Broome might be a witch. Unrelated. I just looked her up because I was like, oh, that's an interesting name. So I looked her up to see if I could, like, peep what she looks like. I just want a disclaimer, too. Anytime because I do this frequently, like, I look up people because I need to know what they look like. It really doesn't have anything to do about, like, what they look like.
You just want to assign, like, a face to the name.
I want the vibe, right? Like, we were kind of talking about this recently. Like, you can never send me a picture of someone and I'll be like, ew, they're ugly, or ew, they're this, ew, they're that, because I know people probably are like, oh, that's such bullshit, but I genuinely do not pick up on things like that at all. It sounds like such a fake thing to say, but it's not.
I believe you. I know what your heart is like, and you're not a judgmental person anyway, so I totally believe you 110%.
It's always the vibe. So I get the vibe from Miss Broome. I think she's a witch. Comment, Fiona.
I love that because I'm a witch and witches are awesome. Okay, so explanations for the Mandela effect. So why would this effect even happen? False memories. A more likely explanation for the Mandela effect involves false memories. Before we consider what is meant by false memories, let's look at an example of the Mandela effect, as it will help us to understand how memory can be faulty and may lead to the phenomenon that we are describing. Who was Alexander Hamilton? Most Americans learned in school that he was a founding father. I am reading this article. I do not use the term founding father. There were people here before white people came here. And no, they didn't fucking find anything that wasn't here, okay? So the actual way to refer to the founding fathers is the framers of the Constitution.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much for that piece of knowledge, because I didn't know that. I can definitely see how that makes more fucking sense than calling them founding fathers. So not that I talk about them very much, but should I? I'll make sure that I say that.
Framers of the Constitution is what they are. That's what they...
Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Holy fucking shit. I swear I'll do better. Poinsettias are not poinsettias, and don't call them that. Everybody. I meant to bring this up during our like Christmas episode, but here it is. Calling a poinsettia is actually like low-key offensive, because that flower was like stolen or whatever from Western Mexican culture. I don't remember like.
I mean, I knew it was Mexican, but
yeah. So it's hard, because like when I saw this, I tried to memorize this word and I gave it to Patrick and I tried to make him memorize this word so we would never call them poinsettias again. But I can't remember the word because it's actually pretty complicated, and the word is Quetlashoshi.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so it's like an actual indigenous word.
And it's spelt Cuetlaxochitl. So it definitely isn't pronounced how it looks. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just difficult, but... So I don't know what to tell you guys to like say instead. This is so fucking useless.
I
don't know
appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank
Don't
you
call them
for that.
poinsettias.
Okay, I will have to look up that word and like probably tattoo it onto the back of my hand so I never forget it.
I'm thinking we should, right? It's Kwetla Shoshi.
I love
No,
that. I love your pronunciation's really good.
Thank you. I don't think it's
Those
right.
those indigenous words are not easy for like my tongue to handle. Like they're not easy.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
Yeah,
It's like a
because the
mix
language-
of French and Spanish almost. Like
yeah, because
it-
the fucking language that we speak is the mark of the colonialism that our ancestors had to endure, and for that reason, I don't speak any indigenous languages, unfortunately, but I speak English and Spanish because those are the people who conquered my ancestors.
yeah.
So there you go. That's why I don't speak any indigenous language. Thanks.
Kwetla Shoshi.
Alright. I love that. All right. Who was Alexander Hamilton?
I'm so sorry.
Stop apologizing. We said on the last episode we were not going to apologize anymore.
No, it's just hard not to. I'm doing it again.
You're conditioned to take up less space. It's
Yeah.
almost as if there's like a war on women or something.
Oh God. Anyway,
That just made my fucking lungs hurt. I was already like so pleased with myself for getting to it before you.
yeah, I think I've fumbled the past like 2 episodes on that.
I was so satisfied with myself, and then you made me like my ribs hurt now because you made me laugh so hard with that stupid laugh track. Oh my goodness. Okay, who was Alexander Hamilton? Most Americans learned in school that he was...
I'm sorry,
I love you so much. Okay. Most Americans learned in school that he was a framer of the Constitution of the United States of America, but that he was not a president. Oh my goodness, I'm sweating. However, when asked about the presidents of the United States, many people mistakenly believe that Hamilton was a president. Why? If we consider a simple neuroscience explanation, the memory for Alexander Hamilton is encoded in an area of the brain where the memories for the presidents of the United States is stored. The means by which memory traces are stored is called the engram, and the framework in which similar memories are associated with each other is called the schema. So, when people try to recall Hamilton, this sets off the neurons in close connection to each other, bringing with it the memory of the presidents. Though this is an oversimplified explanation, it illustrates the general process. When memories are recalled, rather than remembered perfectly, they are influenced to the point that they can eventually become incorrect. In this way, memory is unreliable and not infallible. And that's why, like, you can have two people telling the same story and they tell it different.
Exactly, and that's like kind of based on everything. That's based on memory, it's based on perception, it's based on past experience, it's based on current trauma, past trauma, hearing, sight, it's based on everything. Like 5 people could be sitting in the room and the exact same thing could happen in that room, and you ask people to recall that situation and it could be entirely different.
Yeah, that's also kind of like, I don't know if you've ever read or seen the play The Glass Menagerie.
Mm-mm.
It's like supposed to be like one of the best American plays of all time or whatever. I saw it once in New York and it was great. But the whole point, like, you're going through the guy's memories of these events. So it's like you can't really trust him because he proves to you even through his memory of the events that he's not a reliable person.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of like the same thing in The Great Gatsby with Nick Carraway being the narrator of the novel.
Yeah.
It's like, and then he also has instances in the novel where he's showing himself to not be a very reliable source of information.
Yeah.
So it's like how much of what he's saying about Jay Gatsby is the truth and how it really happened, you know?
Well, and I think that's like an important thing people should keep in mind at all times, like especially these days when we're all so much on social media, and that's where like we get a lot of our news, and that's where we get a lot of our, you know, quote unquote facts for what's going on in the world, because really the vessel that you're getting that information from, it depends on their opinion of what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so confabulation, which involves your brain filling in gaps that are missing in your memories to make more sense of them. This isn't lying, but rather remembering details that never happened. Confabulation tends to increase with age. So I thought that was interesting. It's like you're filling in the gaps of like what you know is there.
Yes. It's interesting to hear these kind of broke down, because like I'm thinking to like my list, you know, for like next, and there's like examples of each of these.
Oh, good.
Especially that one, because that one just popped in my mind. I'm like, ooh, confab. So I'm gonna like highlight real quick.
Mm-hmm. All right. Misleading post-event information. Information that you learn after an event can change your memory of an event. This includes subtle information and helps to explain why eyewitness testimony can be unreliable. All right.
Okay.
Priming. Priming describes the factors leading up to an event that affects our perception of it, also called suggestibility and presupposition. Priming is the difference between asking how short a person is versus how tall a person is.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, did you see the black car instead of a black car makes a subtle suggestion that influences response and memory. In essence, memories are vulnerable bits of information stored in the brain that can be changed over time. While we assume that our memories are accurate, this is not necessarily the case.
You know, and I just have to interject one more time there. I absolutely do not at all trust my memory. My memory's trash. It's weird because like specific, very strange, specific, like weird details, I will remember to the letter. Like I'll remember a whole thing. Oh yeah, that could be it. But then like,
because you're an artist,
like people will tell me whole things, and I'll be like, I don't remember that happening. And like that's
like how you didn't remember that we already had the idea for Chismosa merch.
Yeah, I mean I wasn't sober then, probably.
Well, neither was I. I mean, that's so interesting that you know your memory is not great, that you know not to trust your memory, because I'm the opposite. I remember everything. To the point where like it's almost detrimental to me.
Really?
Like,
I mean, but do you trust your memory like that? Because what I mean by like my memory's trash, what I mean by my memory's trash isn't that I can't recall a situation like to the letter. What I mean is that if something happens, right, and then a year later I recall back to it, that memory is very dependent on the emotion or whatever. It can be altered for me to feel extreme one way or the other, right? So like if
I knew what it was like to be like that.
But if I think back to something in a sense where like something was a little bit bad, if I recall that 1 year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, it wasn't a little bit bad, it was the worst fucking thing that ever happened. Or if it was a little bit good, a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, it was the best thing that ever happened. So it's like my memory, it's not that I don't remember details, it's not that I don't, you know what I mean? It's not like that. It's that I know that my brain falsifies it or exaggerates it or fluffs it up a little bit more. But also, there are black spots from my childhood. Like, for years.
I fucking wish, bitch. Yeah. I wish there were black spots from my childhood.
Aw, I'd
Gross,
swap
I fucking wish.
Not that
I fucking wish.
But I would.
You know what I used to always love in like Harry Potter, when Dumbledore could take like his memories out of his brain and put them in the pensieve, whatever the fuck that thing was called. Do you remember that?
What did I just say, bitch? I'm just kidding.
Wow, where the fuck was I?
I'm so sorry.
Okay,
I'm on
this is my favorite explanation, and this is the explanation for the Mandela effect that I think is what makes this phenomenon so spooky to me, and I love it. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Alternate realities.
Yeah.
One theory for the basis for the Mandela effect originates from quantum physics and relates to the idea that rather than one timeline of events, alternate realities or universes may be taking place and mixing with our timeline. In theory, this would result in groups of people having the same memories because the timeline has been altered as we shift between these different realities.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't alone if you think this sounds unrealistic. Unfortunately, the idea of alternate realities is unfalsifiable, meaning there is no way to disprove that these other universes don't truly exist. This is why such a far-fetched theory continues to gain traction among the Mandela effect communities. You can't prove it's not real, so you can't discount the possibility of it. For many people, the excitement of a bit of mystery in everyday life also likely comes into play. So, to recap, while the notion of alternate realities might appeal due to its air of mystery, many examples of the Mandela effect are likely due to some type of collective misremembering. Incorrectly recalling information is in fact quite common. One study found that 76% of people made some type of mistake when asked to recall information.
Ooh, I think I read this portion of this article when I was doing my own research. I'm glad that I stopped, because I started to read it and I was like, blah, 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 it's too much. I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah, well, that's my segment.
I loved that because I learned something. Who wrote that? Because it was written in a way that I could stay. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Sometimes it's difficult for me to stay focused on anything, and I don't have anything to fiddle with, so I can't really. But I stayed with that one.
Arlen Kunsick.
Oh yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I know. I always cite.
Yes, you do.
I always cite. I was an English major. I'm not gonna plagiarize, baby. I gotta cite. You gotta source it.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I really, for my portion of this episode, I really aimed to show you, John Day, a Mandela effect. My mouth is moving faster than my brain.
Oh wait, I forgot. I wanted to talk about really quickly the only Mandela effect that I believe is real.
Oh yeah. Go off.
Have you ever seen a movie called Shazam?
Well, I'm aware of this one.
Oh, but you never saw it when you were a kid.
Okay, so I have to say
because I saw that movie when I was a kid.
This one doesn't track overseas. So unfortunately, my opinion on this one is just invalid. Like but I will say that seems familiar. But I'm going to tell you kind of why I think that a lot of these things seem familiar and seem right.
Okay. All right. Well, Shazam is a movie that I watched when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I saw it on the Disney Channel.
Mm-hmm. You didn't.
I remember this. I fucking have memories of myself.
I believe you.
Sitting there watching Shazam.
Yeah.
And that was my introduction to the Mandela effect when I brought that movie up one time. And somebody was like, that movie doesn't exist. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've seen this movie. I've seen it multiple times. And they were like, this is going to be really hard for you to swallow, but no, you haven't. And I was like, yes, I have. Shazam.
No, not
Shazam.
Sinbad. Okay, Sinbad. Right. I only know him from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Has he ever...
What?
Yeah.
Well, he had his own show, I think. He was a thing when I was a kid. He was a genie, and his name was Shazam.
Hold on a second. There is a... Okay, I just put in Google Shazam Sinbad statement because I wanted to see if maybe he had spoken on this to I remember being in that. Well, he says that he's been in it.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes up on Google is a link to a YouTube video. And it says in the little... I'm not clicking on it because I'm about to be over this. I just don't care. But it says Sinbad, and I'm back in, I'm into it. Sinbad finally admits, yes, he did make a movie called Shazam in the 1980s. He was broke and desperate. It's not the Mandela effect.
But
seems
the
like
movie
clickbait.
doesn't exist. Yeah, it is clickbait. I guarantee, because I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that he has said that he was never in a movie called Shazam.
And he doesn't have any recollection of that. Isn't it interesting that he wasn't part of the universe where that existed?
Dude, I'm getting goosebumps again. I hate this. Okay,
But-
so
Well, what about
That's why-
anybody? So, like, you know this. When there's a film production. So there's a lot of people involved, right? So it's not just who you see on screen, it's behind the scenes. There's costume, there's makeup, there's Foley, there's set designers, there's cast directors, there's whatever. There's, like, a lot of people behind the scenes in movies. Has anybody ever come out and said that they worked on that movie?
I guess I should have done more research.
Well, shit, because I didn't cover anything about Shazam because that's all you, but I did aim with my portion of this episode I just like to shock and horrify you. I like to see you squirm.
I
It's my
love
favorite
it.
thing to do.
Thank you.
Um,
I love squirming.
I wanted to find one that you haven't heard of. I wanted to find one that maybe you guys, listeners, haven't heard of. That was the goal. It's still my goal, still my intention. Before I do that, I want to rattle off some Mandela effects that have made other people's minds blow up. And to be honest, like, a lot of them I don't get. A lot of them fuck me up too. But
All right, I'm gonna comment as you go.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will just say, I know that I have, like, a note in here where I, like, rant about this. My opinion on Mandela effects is actually more to do with, like, pop culture. I think that there have been so many recreations of infamous things that we end up remembering the recreations more than the actual event.
Yep.
And you're going to
100%.
know exactly what I mean when I get to a couple of these. Okay.
Yep.
My first one was the Nelson Mandela one. That's boring. Nobody cares. Sorry, rest in peace.
I actually remember when he was let out of prison.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I
Well,
knew he didn't die in prison. So I knew that already.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that one ever really got me either, but to be honest with you, this is, like, kind of exposing too, like, I never kept up on any form of any type of current event ever until, like, the past 4 years.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I've kind of given a shit about, like, politics to some degree since I was, like, a freshman in high school.
Yeah, I think it's because you're intelligent. Not to say that I'm not intelligent, I'm just intelligent in a different way. I should be more interested in politics because I think to a certain extent we all have to be. But
Like, I have read the Constitution before. I don't know how many other Americans can say that. Like,
speaking of the Constitution, we were watching an episode of It's Always Sunny the other day, and it was the Jimmy Buffett one. It's one from one of the newer seasons. And it's the one where they're trying to figure out what sign to put on the bathrooms because they don't want to put women, they don't want to put men, they're trying to figure all that out. And Frank pulls up the Constitution and he's trying to use it to, like, defend himself. And he said that somewhere on there it says that people of color are only 3/3. Sorry, that's not a figure.
3/5.
3/5 a person.
Yeah.
Does it say that on the Constitution? Wow, I need to read that.
It had to do with, like, when slavery ended and people were emancipated. It had to do with voting rights. So 1 vote from 1 black man, because he's a free man now, would only count for 3/5 of 1 actual vote.
3/5. I'm trying to visualize 3/5.
So it's just a little more than half. It's just a tiny bit more than half.
So it would take.
So you're like 70% a person is what that says, not a full 100% person.
Is that still the case today? Has that been changed?
No. Yes.
Wait. Oh no. Yes.
That's why the Constitution is a living document in the sense that, like, we can change it.
Right. That's why I don't really understand, like, the way.
Like, that's what
people get-
amendments are.
Yeah, I don't
They're
understand.
amending. Yeah.
What people get so passionate about the Second Amendment, which is the gun one, right?
Because we do all have the right to bear arms. I have a gun.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with guns. Actually, I'm, like, pro-gun, whatever it is, but I'm also pro-mental health. And I also think that if we're going to be handing guns out to everybody, we should be
It was
careful.
No shit. It was so easy for me to get my gun. Bitch, I walked into the gun store and walked out with it.
The gun.
The lady at the lady at the, it literally is a gun store. The lady who helped me was like, wow, people usually have to come back and get it because their background check needs to clear.
Yeah.
But because I've never even gotten so much as a fucking speeding ticket in my life.
Wow.
My background check came and like fucking was back in minutes because I have a squeaky clean record. And yeah, I was floored at how easy it was. I walked in there, dropped $400 and had a handgun on my way out.
Ooh, it really gives me the heebie-jeebies. And like, I'm sure people like find that to be a controversial take or whatever, but I'm sorry, weapons are scary in the hands of the wrong people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I still don't think they should be taken away from everybody because I do maintain the belief that bad guys will always get them. But
there's also home defense.
There's also this quote that I hear a lot. You know the Uvalde? The Uvalde shooting?
Yeah.
When the footage was released of the police officers hanging out in the hallways for 45 fucking minutes before making an effort to apprehend the shooter. When I watched that footage, it was actually on someone else's podcast, and he said, look at your good guys with guns.
With guns.
And that gives me fucking chills. Yeah, anyways. Moving on. The second one I have here on my notes is probably also one of the most popular ones, and that's the spelling of the Berenstain Bears. It's with an
People
A,
just don't know
not
how to
with
spell.
an E. Well, this one is, I've read an interesting theory on why it could be mass misremembered, and that could be because kind of around the same time of that like childhood niche was Frankenstein and Einstein. They were like big figures, big pop culture figures. So it could just be our brain making that connection and making it Berenstain. But also, I have seen people with evidence to support that it was Berenstain, like old VHS tapes and stuff like that. But also, everything can be fabricated, so who's to say?
Right.
Yeah, you can't really like take that stuff as evidence because people lie. This one actually fucked me up. In Snow White, the cartoon one, the Wicked Queen never says murmur on the wall, da-da-da, but she says magic myrrh on the wall. That one really fucked me up because Snow White was one of my favorites growing up. I loved that.
Well, see, maybe it's because I didn't watch it as a kid. I watched that movie as a full-grown adult for the first time.
Okay.
And when that scene came up, I was like, oh, she's about to do the mirror mirror thing. And she did the magic mirror on the wall. And I was like, oh, what the fuck?
But maybe by the time you watched it, it was in a different universe. So, like, if we're
in a different reality.
Yeah, because if we're talking about like the reasoning behind Mandela effect, I think a lot of these are like the misremembering and our brain putting things there that just make sense for us. But I think to a certain extent, the one that makes the most sense to me as to why these things would be like that is a different universe. Like, I think that would be totally possible. Another common one, I'm sure you know this one. Darth Vader never said, Luke, I am your father. He actually says,
Of course I know
no, I am your father.
Of course I know that that's not real because I grew up watching Star Wars. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I really love Star Wars. And
I love Star Wars.
And I know the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, I can recite those scripts to you because of how much I've seen those movies.
And it's always
I still watch
been,
them.
No, I am your father.
It's because they're having a conversation and Luke says, okay, Vader says, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. And he says, he did tell me, I know, he told me you killed him. And then Vader responds, no, I am your father.
That makes more sense.
He doesn't have to say Luke. He's only talking to Luke in the scene.
Yeah, but I mean...
But it's like, when little kids are going around and playing Star Wars, they say, Luke, I'm your father, like, because they're referencing the film. I don't know why. It's just, I know that's not true.
But just to play devil's advocate here, right? John Day, it is possible to use someone's name kind of in an obscure place when you're having a conversation to really hit home your point. So while I don't agree with that one, I didn't grow up on Star Wars like that. Like, I have absolutely no fucking idea. I believe that makes more sense in the sentence, like what you're saying, but it's also not impossible that was the way that it was said. But again, like I was saying, I think this could be an example of pop culture presenting things back in an incorrect way, and we all remember the pop culture reference as opposed to the original source.
Yeah, I think that definitely makes more sense, honestly. Like, I think it's more like the confabulation.
Sorry, oh god.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that so much. Or maybe it's misleading post-event information. I think that's what you're talking about when
That's
you're saying
the
that, like, the
one.
pop culture stuff, like,
Yeah.
it rewrites it in our memories.
Yeah.
Because also, like, when you remember something, you're not remembering it like you remembered it the first time. You're just remembering the last time you remembered it.
Yeah, and of course it's going to be different each time. Like, for example, if you meet somebody that has slightly larger hands, right? Or, okay, never mind that. Maybe, like, the fisherman example is a good one. When you talk to a fisherman, every time he tells you about the fish he caught, it got bigger and bigger and bigger. I know that obviously that kind of example might have a bit more to do with, like, ego and shit. But, like, if you meet somebody with, like, a physical feature that's kind of dominant, like,
That stands out.
yeah, like Cindy, what's her name's beauty mark?
Oh, Cyndi Lauper?
No, not Cindy Lauper. She's a model. I don't even think her name is Cindy.
Oh,
Dang
Cindy
it.
Crawford?
Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Something like that could become more and more intense to the point that becomes their identifying thing.
It's their whole face. It just takes
Yeah.
over the whole face.
Well, like, for example, when I meet people, right, and they hang out with me over an extended amount of time, my referring thing when they talk about me to other people is, oh, Tay with the Irish accent or whatever. You know what I mean? Even though
That's your
accent-
identifier.
Yeah, even though it's very subtle, it becomes something that you remember being very strong later on. So then you misremember it as it being such a huge, noticeable accent, and then you speak to me and you're like, oh, your accent's not as strong as it was last time. It's like, no, it is. You just fantasize about me being a fucking leprechaun. Okay, I'm done. I swear.
I feel like it gets funnier every time.
Oh, God.
Nobody's listening to this podcast anymore. If they ever even fucking
everybody
work.
Okay. C-3PO is not gold.
No, he's not. He's like yellow.
Well, one of
he's
his
copper.
legs. One of his legs
one of his
is silver.
legs is silver.
Yeah.
In
okay.
the original, in the yes, and it's always been that way. It's always been that way.
Here's an interesting one as well, because it seems that even manufacturers of merchandise didn't recognize or remember this, because there are many, if not most, action figures of C-3PO and they're all gold. But that could also, again, be an example of the later events that alter our whatever. So just because you bought it that way doesn't mean that it was right, because we also get knockoff products. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
This one I thought was stupid. Looney Tunes was never spelt Toons, like cartoons, but sorry, cartoons, but tunes like Tunes, like the tune. I hate that one. That one's stupid. But this one, I would die on this hill. Pikachu doesn't have the stripe on his tail. Yes, the fuck he does.
That one trips me out too.
Yeah.
Isn't it a black tip on his tail?
No, it was a brown, jagged line.
Like a lightning bolt, right?
Kind of like a lightning, but it like wrapped around. It was like a bad tribal tattoo around his tail.
That's not what I remember. I think the Mandela effect is that he has a black tip on his tail.
It's definitely brown. That's what I remember. But again, like, that's also something that the reason that I could be remembering it with the brown tail is because I could have got a knockoff Pikachu merchandise. For sure, because I got a Pikachu for Christmas. I was so excited about it. I find it. So when I was a kid, actually still today, if there's Christmas presents in the house for me, I'm finding them and I'm opening them before Christmas. Every time. I don't care. And I was a menace when I was a kid. So So my mom would have to literally like hide presents under the house in other people's houses, rent storage facilities to not have them in the house because I will find them like a bloodhound.
Oh my goodness.
And I find this Pikachu, this little plush stuffy, this little Pikachu, probably no bigger than like, I don't know, was that 5 inches?
Yeah. Okay.
I was so excited about it. It was my most best thing that Christmas. But we were going away to like a grandparent's house or something, so we were taking all our prezzies, loading up the car, going over there to open them. And my Pikachu got left behind, bitch. And it was the only thing I could think about all Christmas. I was so upset. I knew exactly where it was sitting because when I find it, Mom was like, well, fuck it, I'm not wrapping it, but you're not getting it until Christmas. And he had the brown bit on his tail. For sure. Okay, Sex in the City isn't Sex in the City. It's actually Sex and the City. That one.
I knew that one.
That one's stupid because I feel like people, I'm sorry, I like have like weird inward hiccups. People probably think that it's Sex in the City, even though it's Sex and, because people say instead of and. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Same for like Mike and Ike's. Mike and Ike's is not Mike and Ike's, it's Mike and Ike's. So it's just people say it more than you read it, so you remember it a certain way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Here's one. What was Forrest Gump's famous line in the movie?
Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Wrong, actually. The line was, life was like a box of chocolates. Past tense. So he's recalling that it was like a box of chocolates. That one kind of fucked me up because, for sure, but again, that became such a popular line that maybe one person got it wrong and then it just...
I'm sure I've heard it the way that I said it in like a comedy sketch.
Yes.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like a spoof.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why people think that they have evidence for the Mandela effect because they're like, look, everybody remembers it this way. And it's like, no, it was just incorrectly done numerous times. That's all. This one did fuck me up, though. The Monopoly Man doesn't have a monocle. Yeah, he does. Yes, he fucking does.
Mr. Peanut has a monocle. And because he's fancy, you conflate him with the Monopoly Man.
Hold the fucking phone. You could be right. I can concede to that one. Maybe I'll dim down the anger a little bit.
Never.
Here's another one of the exact same thing that I've said 100 times. People remember the Mona Lisa having a subtle smirk instead of a full-on smile, where now she's clearly smiling even with her eyes. And again, there's been so many recreations of the Mona Lisa in modern art, music videos, pop culture, movies and shit. When was the last time you actually looked at the Mona Lisa legit? Like a picture of her, like legit? Never.
In front of your eyes. Yeah, never. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I have seen Starry Night in person, though.
Ooh.
Not as big as you would expect.
That's what she said. I promise I'm done.
Don't be done. Stop apologizing and don't be done because that shit's so fucking funny to me every time. Anyway.
Okay, I have 3 left on like the bullshit list. Everyone thought Gene Wilder died way earlier than he died, but he only died in like August of 2016. And you know what? I thought he was still alive literally until I wrote this. I'm not kidding.
I remember when he died because I love Gene Wilder, so I remember that.
Same. He was my favorite Willy Wonka.
He's the only fucking Willy Wonka. Sorry, Johnny Depp, but
yeah, he made that role.
Like Gene Wilder's the only Willy Wonka in my fucking book.
Well, to be fair, Johnny Depp did really well, but it's Gene Wilder's role. She says
I don't like that movie. The remake. I don't think it's good. I feel like sometimes I have like a bone to pick with Tim Burton.
Yeah.
But I don't know if now's the time.
Okay. Tim Burton, we might be coming for you. Possibly.
I think Wednesday's great, but I have have some gripes with that man about some of his movies in the recent years.
Oh, but not about Wednesday, like the show.
No, that show's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, they did really well. The only beef I have with it is that it came out 7.5 months after I had my daughter Wednesday. So now, when we initially announced her name, nobody said anything about the Addams Family, which obviously that was some inspiration for her name. It's the poem, it's the Addams Family, you know, everything. It's Christina Ricci.
It's a vibe.
It's the whole thing. But the Jenna Ortega, Tim Burton version of her, it hadn't even been announced yet. So when we announced our Wednesday's name, it was like, well, what are you gonna do if she's born on a Thursday? And it was just like, whereas like now the show has blown up so much, and this always happens. I think anybody who's alt, like John Day and I are very much like gothy punk, grungy girls. That sounds gross, grungy girls.
I'm like grungy chic, okay?
Yeah, but anytime something like this becomes popular in mainstream media, the rest of us who've kind of identified this has been
already been in the boat.
It gets really annoying because like a lot of these basic bitches, especially for me, like in the fashion world, because I really I like cultivate and construct my style. To see people just pick it up and drop it so quickly is frustrating. But I also have no intentions of gatekeeping the alt style community. Plus, you know, something that's funny, I saw a TikTok of a girl being like, other alt girls, please don't get mad that it's trendy right now, because in 6 months, hit your fucking thrift stores and there's gonna be so much good shit, which is such a good idea.
So true.
Okay, sorry guys. I don't know why. I had a day, so like I needed this today. We're almost done, I promise.
I'm glad.
Curious George never had a tail. I don't care. Kit Kat never had a hyphen.
I know that's never had a hyphen because that's my favorite chocolate.
Is it? Oh, I love that I just learned that about you.
God damn it, that could have been one of my lies. That Baby Ruths were my favorite chocolate. Fuck.
This one I'm actually a little bit passionate about. So, hello, Clarice was never said.
I know that for a fact. I've seen that movie so many times.
Yes. But rather, good evening, Clarice. And again, this one is just a recreation gone wrong, because that line has been so many says. What am I saying? So many says has been said so many times the wrong way. It's just snowballed. So for sure that's not one, but there's a couple on that list that I can see. The Pikachu one fucks me up for sure. Okay, I have a small list of ones that I think you may not have heard of.
Okay. Hit me with that.
I based that on the fact that I hadn't heard them.
Okay.
What's the vampire movie with Brad Pitt and Kirsten Dunst called?
Interview with the Vampire.
Okay. Anyways, what's the ending?
I own that book.
Okay, so that's not one.
Of course I do.
Can confirm. That's not one. The ending of the Queen song, We Are the Champions. What's the last line? Sing it for me. Sing it for me, baby.
He does not say of the world at the end.
Okay.
I knew that one. I knew that one because my Aunt Ruth is a really big Queen fan. And so I grew up listening to Queen very regularly. So I knew that. Yeah.
Okay. So you knew that one organically, not from past Mandela effect research.
Right.
Okay. I love that yours.
That one and the Star Wars one.
Okay.
Yeah. And the vampire one, obviously, Interview with the Vampire, because I remember.
And the Kit Kat one.
Yeah.
I love that most of these are organic knowledge and memory for you. I'm really impressed. I love you even more.
Thanks. Oh.
I thought this one was just fucking interesting. Judge Judy never used a gavel. I don't know if I have a memory of her using it, but I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I grew up watching Judge Judy, and I also love to fall down TikTok rabbit holes of just watching old Judge Judy cases.
Yeah.
And I know she doesn't have a gavel.
Okay, bitch. I didn't know. And when I saw that, I was like, wait. But I also don't have a memory of her, like, smashing a gavel, so that's fine. Okay, this one kind of got me. But I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you an explanation. Describe the infamous scene from Risky Business with Tom Cruise for me. You know the scene.
Yeah, where he's in the white socks and the white button-up shirt, and he slides into the room.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What color was his shirt?
White?
No.
Oh, is it blue?
I think it's pink.
What? I've never seen that movie.
Hold on, I'm
ever.
sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry that I just had to do that. It sounded like someone was shooting outside of my house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, well, I don't live in a city, so like back when I lived in Vegas and I would hear shooting, I'd be like, whatever. But out here, it's different.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's possible that people are just hunting up here. But it's also like,
Right.
if there's a
Dark
psycho,
out?
if there's a psycho with a gun outside my house, like I'm probably the next house, if that makes sense. So.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Plus, I
Awesome.
have to pee. Let me just say, I'm not trying to end because I just have a couple more, so we're really almost done. But I always have this thing of like thinking about like if I died in the moment, would it be okay or no? And like, I know you probably piss yourself when you die anyways, but like, I don't want to have to pee really, really bad like when I die. You know, that's a little too embarrassing.
I have peed on myself as a full-grown adult more times than I care to share.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I would care.
Oh, I'm the opposite. Listeners,
Besides, if you're fucking dead already, who gives a shit? Nobody.
I guess.
You certainly don't give a shit anymore.
No, that's true. I have also peed on myself many, many times as an adult, but I was a full-on alcoholic, a full-on rapist. So it was pretty bad.
Philanthropist.
Okay, yeah, so his shirt was not white. I think it was either pink or blue. I don't remember. I don't know why I didn't make a note of which one it
I
was.
also
That was
don't
stupid.
care. Like, I've never seen
Neither
that
do
movie.
I. And I haven't seen the movie either. And why we think it's a white shirt is because of recreations. I have not seen that movie.
Yeah, of course. You know what? I have seen Never Been Kissed like a million times. And her brother, in the movie, what's his name? What's that actor's name? He was married to Courtney Cox forever. David
Well,
Arquette.
Yeah.
And he, in the movie, goes to the prom like dressed like that from that scene in Risky Business, and he's wearing a white shirt.
Okay, yeah, see? It's a recreation, and that's why we remember it like that. I was pretty hyped on this one when I first read it, and I feel like everything's bullshit. This main segment's my least favorite. Like, I feel like everything is dumb, and everybody believes the hype way too much.
I agree.
But the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood quote, or the song, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. He says it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. And when I initially read that, it did fuck me up because I loved that show. When I was a kid, I really thought he was my dad. Oh my god, that's so sad. That's so sad. But like,
no, he was actually like a very sweet person, by the way. In like IRL, he was like a very, very sweet man. Yeah.
Thank God for that, because I swear a lot of things that I was like a fan of when I was a kid have been exposed to be the worst fucking shit.
Right.
And it's just so
like I could never watch the Amanda Show and not feel some enormous amount of like just sadness for that girl.
Yeah. Okay, this is my final one, and I thought this one was pretty good, and I got Patrick with it too. What color were Hitler's eyes?
Brown.
No,
They weren't brown?
his eyes were blue. And that fucked me up because I seem to remember very clearly that there was a lot of discussion around it being kind of ironic that his perfect race was blonde blue eyes.
That's what I'm tripping on right now.
Because he took after his mother with the dark hair, dark eyes. But his eyes were in fact blue. But this one I think I can explain because most pictures that we've seen of Hitler have been in black and white. So
okay, that's what it is. I was like, what?
But his eyes
I
were
want to
blue.
say that all the depictions of him, like in movies and film and TV and shit, like have been brown eyes.
Always. They always are. because
They always are?
thinks-
Okay, so that's why.
Everybody thinks that he has.
So basically, Mandela effects are not real, and this is just shit that people misremember because our memories suck. Except for the fact that Shazam was a real movie, and I have really seen it.
And Pikachu had a stripe on his tail, and that's really.
I will die on that hill about Shazam, dude. I fucking seen it. I've seen it. I've seen the movie. I've seen it.
I think that's the one that really fucks people up the most because they have like memories of not just the movie existing, but like the case or the what do you call it? The movie poster, like the contents of the movie, like, and it's such a random ass thing to remember because there's nothing else to like compare it to, right? So like Hitler's eyes being a different color, sure, pictures are in black and white, songs being a little bit different, or titles of shows being a little bit different because they're mispronounced. Risky Business because we've only ever seen recreations, no one's ever actually watched Risky Business for real. But Shazam is it's a whole thing that's been created, a whole memory, not just like, oh, he was in a movie that was a little bit different. He wasn't actually a genie, he was like something else. It's a whole thing. So that one's probably...
Like it doesn't exist. Yeah.
I agree with you as much as I don't feel shook because I don't really have any, you know what I mean? I don't know if maybe it just wasn't released where I grew up, or it wasn't released anywhere, I guess.
Ever, apparently. And that's the part that's scary to me because I really, really remember watching it multiple times.
Oh, yeah. I wonder where because like, I don't know for sure, but like kind of my thing on like the universe shifting like that is that you died. So I wonder how you died and how your conscience came to be in this reality.
That is such a Rick and Morty like explanation.
So from some moment when you were watching that as a child until whenever it became non-existent, that movie, you died.
Yeah. I probably got hit by a car because I was always outside on my bike and my roller skates, my rollerblades.
Oh my god, so sometimes I have like little daydreams, like fantasies, like I just kind of like go off and think about like, how cool would it be to do this? I'm sure everybody does that. I don't think I'm quirky. But one thing that I like to think about on the regular is you and me at this park that I used to go to in Vegas. We used to take the dog there. So there's a dog park, but then there's also like a regular park with like grass and like paths and stuff. And in this like idea where I think of, we go to this park, you have roller skates. I don't even know if I knew that you roller skated, but in this, like, whatever, you have roller skates, I have a skateboard because I cannot roller skate. And we're like skating around the park, and then we sit down and we have a really cute little goth picnic, and we just sit in the grass and we like hang out. And I think about this all, it's like one of my happy places. I know you're not supposed to have a person there, but you're there in one of them. And that's like,
oh my god, that sounds like something we can definitely make happen because I just got new roller skates for my birthday last year.
Okay, well, also I saw a picnic basket on like Dolls Kill or something, and it's in the shape of a coffin, so we can get that. Yeah.
Yes.
Need it.
I want everything to be in the shape of a coffin. I need one of those little backpacks, the little coffin-shaped backpacks.
Oh my god. So go to this company, like not sponsored, but this is one of my favorite bag companies because I'm really picky on my purses and bags. They either have to be like straight up this like the gothiest, bougiest shit, or like Barbie. There's no in between. So Black Craft Cult, and they have the best bags.
I'm pretty sure Sandra has sent me stuff like pictures of like their merch and stuff. So
yeah, they have some. Oh, I think I sent you one the other day that was like, "This could be us, but you pray in." That T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
I know. I showed it to Patrick too. It's like this girl sitting on this like demon's face, and like I would love to wear that T-shirt, but I think for me, because now I'm like I believe in God and shit, I wouldn't wear it. I don't wear that.
I would wear that T-shirt to church.
I would wear that T-shirt to church. I absolutely would, but I don't go to church.
Good for you.
But I think it just crosses a little teeny tiny bit of like, because I teeter that line very close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that one might.
The line just doesn't exist for me.
But also,
like, I just want to offend people with, like, not even having to open my mouth yet.
Oh, I don't mean, like, offending. I don't give a fuck about that. I more mean, like, just, like, my own belief system. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm a heathen and an atheist, so.
But I think, too, like I've said many times, like, the God that I follow is not going to fucking be mad at me for a T-shirt. Let's just say that.
Like I've said a million times before, if if God really exists, then she knows that I've been through what I've been through, and she's given me the hall pass to not believe in her.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the same as
Like,
what I believe in.
she'll know.
Like, the day that you die, you're not going to be faced, God's not going to be in your face and be like, nope, bye.
Pretty
Like,
sure
that's what
if
happens.
pretty sure if God really loves me, like, they'll understand.
Well, this is the thing, is you are a good person.
Oh, thank you.
And that's literally all that matters. That's all that matters. You don't have to do the rest of it.
Yeah.
Be a good person.
I'm a pretty good person. I mean, I sometimes bully people, but only if they deserve it, you know?
Yeah.
That was so bad. We at the Bad Brew do not condone bullying. It's not good. Don't do it. I'm working on it, okay?
And I'm working on my AAP. So.
All right, so what did we say is next week? Dark Side of Didney?
Yeah, you're gonna figure out a word, and we'll talk about the format.
Why
and
are we
everything.
doing cannibalism?
Oh,
'Cause
fuck!
that's been up in the air too.
I want to do cannibalism because
Okay,
I need
let's do
to.
cannibalism.
Okay, that's
Okay.
it. That's it. It's decided. I love you guys.
All right. Love you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Bad Brew. If you are watching or listening to us on YouTube, you can support us even more by subscribing to the Bad Brew channel. Just hit the notification bell so you know when the latest episode has been posted. You can also find us on all social media platforms as The Bad Brew, except on Instagram where you can find us as The Bad Brew Pod. See you next time. Stay bad, bitches.